Okay, so in theory, our audio is working, according to Nico, and I am at least visible, according to me, which is something. So, yay, we've made it this far, folks. That's, that's it. That's as far as we've got. Good, hello. Right, so welcome to the Fragments of Eternity, session 112. And definitely would have been weird to have had two session 111s had I not discovered that mystery session. I'm Ryan, the GM. It is the 17th of January 2022. And here are the players.
I'm first for a change. Hello. Good hello.
Good hello.
And welcome. I am Nico, and I am playing Zora, the Vest Captain.
Oh, I'm next. Sorry, I lost track. Hello, I am Colin, and apparently I've changed my name since I was last in this game. And I will be playing Lyco Quint, your sneaky, spooky space cop coast to coast. Also, hello, Siren.
Hello, Siren, and welcomes.
Hello.
And finally, it is I. I'm Alex. I'll be playing Weird, the android mechanic. That's what he does.
Yep. So who do you remember from last time?
I honestly, genuinely cannot remember our fucking...
I love that we did talk about this last week, and then didn't run the game.
I think I still sort of remember.
Okay.
I remember that I had been tracking down a book
Yeah.
on the sort of grey phenomenon by Dr. Someone make a hair metal joke for me.
Hair metal joke.
Oh. Dr. Def Leppard,
dun.
and who had been treating shit. However, forgotten her name. Help me.
Shakos.
Shakos, thank you. Who'd been treating Shakos, the steward doctor, high-ranking steward doctor, and this is a book.
Venedia Helen. Her name.
Yeah. Dr. Van Halen. Yes. And I tracked that down, skimmed through it, and then I had a meeting with one Thanaida.
Canada.
Was potentially followed.
Yes.
Sort of discussed the current situation and asked her to donate blood, basically, or to get scans done, preferably if she was okay going sort of in person. And yeah, just sort of went out for a booze after.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. These went out for a booze and then went back to her hotel room to also raid the minibar or whatever, or her like hotel bar or whatever it was. So yeah, I do recall this. Yes,
I
yes,
think
yes.
kinky folks. Like, why is it automatically be kinky?
I don't know.
Someone's hotel room?
Hotel
know, like,
shaming? I don't know. But that's her
nothing
thing.
good happens in hotel rooms.
Yeah, fair. So I feel like I'm tiny in the camera because I slouched, shrunk. So that's what happened with Lyco. What happened with the others?
I'm so stumped. I'm trying to rack my brain.
Okay.
I can't remember. I actually cannot remember.
So you went to Q-Bob.
Oh yeah, that's right. I went to Q-Bob.
Gave him torpedoes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. This will be fine.
Yeah. And then the incident at the reactor was mentioned.
There's an incident.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the egg is gone.
Yeah, shit. How about that?
Long live the egg.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. My notes just say Lyco bought her book. That's what it starts with.
I did.
And then it says Rayla, a pop star, a Lashunta pop star, and I've wrote in brackets based on Madonna. And then because of that, I like the idea of saying was a beautiful. I've also wrote beautiful stranger is about the Greys.
Okay.
Yeah, it checks out, right?
Oh no, I do remember you saying that.
Yep.
And I think I tried to make some sort of Kabbalah-based joke, but I couldn't think of anything funny that wasn't also racist.
I've also got a party go to Cubob, sell heavy vest torpedoes, 6 million budget to spend. The instant anti-reactor was mentioned.
Google something.
Lyco eats trippy fish from Bertheda. Yeah, that's what my notes say.
So she's Italian American, right?
Okay.
Madonna.
Okay.
Say nothing racist.
So why did she get into Kabbalah?
Hey, it's our choice.
I'm just saying, that's a weird. I mean, I guess it's Kabbalah. It's generally a weird route to go down, but like, I just don't understand that path. I think I'm getting into weird religious mysticism, but specifically weird Jewish religious mysticism. I'm called Madonna. Madonna.
I have so little to input in this conversation. Like, I have so
There's
little
just an
thought.
irony there.
I mean, sure, maybe that was what she was going for. We'll ask her, right? We'll tweet her.
We'll ask Madonna. Were you being ironic with the Kabbalah thing?
Oh dear. Anything else that people remember at all about the past in this game? Maybe
I feel like something very important should be said, but I cannot remember.
There was some interaction with using Sindel as well on the ship, right? There was a chunk of that because he was like, "Why?"
Oh yeah, he really wants to go to Triaxis. Yeah. He really wanted to go to Triaxis first, but we all like.
Well, yeah, because the job was like, go give query to MO.
But not everybody has cosmic fucking bone sage powers, so like we need guns.
Fair. Oh dear. I love how not everybody.
Yeah, he was very all in on that.
Yeah. And then what else did we have? Before that session, you did wander through Query's mind. Remember?
I do remember that. That was
the
actually what I was
session
thinking the
before.
last session was. But
Yeah, because that's where like Lyco's brain I think was as well. Because that's where he went looking for her book. Was that previous session as well? He'd been made aware of it at least in that one. But yeah, and I think that was about it. Really.
Me and Weird had a drink actually. That's right. I remember me and Weird had a wee fucking fuck this situation drink. Like I remember that.
Wasn't CC there as well? I think until
yes.
it weirded him out and he had to leave the room because too many questions were asked. Yeah, that's usually how that goes. I think. Yeah. Okay. Goals then, I guess. Those things.
Does it have a personal hand in the death of Dimigash? What will happen one day?
I don't doubt it, to be honest.
I doubt it a little, just because I don't trust anything.
How fucking very dare you?
It's been there for a while, is all I'm saying.
The man is dead. Okay, he's dead. He just doesn't know it yet.
Yep. Oh.
Oh?
Yeah. What was that? Lyco doesn't have a goal.
Not at present. We'll
Yep.
see if we can come up with something this session.
Oh.
No, I don't think. No, Alex. That's not my colour. Thank you.
Wow, harsh.
Wow.
Please don't.
For the audience, it's the normal spreadsheet shenanigans. Okay. Weird. What's your goal?
I will find Alice.
Yeah. And Zig, what's your goal? Something rappy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Perfect. Yeah. General goals. What are those?
Enact plan with the bioweapon. Unless somebody else helping bringing bone sages into anti-Urglass plan, but Urglass into trap. There's a lot of fucking Urglass
It's
plans.
a lot of
hand
like,
over query to MO. And looping as many allies into plan B. What's plan B?
doesn't it just shoot the shit out of the elite?
Aye, yeah, that's right.
Is that-
the elite brain.
Like I don't. I just said that because it felt right, but I
No,
feel
I
like
think
that
it
is
is.
the plan.
I think it is. I think it's just get the boys together and shoot them. Like,
Call the boys.
get the boys.
In my gaff.
Who's back in town?
Right. But that feels right goal-wise. I think that's where we're at. Sure. Man, what even? We open up with Lyko, because why not? So Lyko.
Yeah.
Last thing you had was you and Snyder raiding the minibar, like doing some small talk and stuff. As small talky as Snyder gets, really. I imagine it was more like actual purpose-based small talk between the two of you, and maybe some pleasantries. And at some point, you clearly have passed out because you're waking up, but you're surrounded in it doesn't feel like liquid around you, but you're swimming through it. So you're kind of
What?
suspended in some kind of you're definitely not where you were.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I wake up suspended in something.
Yeah. Not in some
Okay.
kind of back to tank or anything like that type vibe, but almost as if you've woke up in the sea, but it's not wet.
Oh, so when you say awake, do I think I'm actually awake, or is this like a waking up but you're just in another dream thing?
Don't know. Do you want to
Can
roll
I
existential
inf-
crisis or whatever? Yeah, I guess it's both. Yeah.
Yeah, sense motive on myself?
Sure. Why not? What's your
Yeah,
DC?
I want to know, am I dreaming? Oh, that's a good roll.
That's a pretty damn high roll. Yeah. Let's see. Can you do me some kind of mind save? That was
Probably.
a less popular book by Hitler. No.
If I can mind save, yeah. That in Minecraft.
Yes.
Let's see if I can remember where they
That was
are.
a very popular product. Yeah.
Well,
Sure.
We would have said nothing about the political views of Notch.
Oh, God.
I would say nothing about the political views of known sex murderer Notch.
So, before my channel gets tanked for the 2022, yeah, you have a vague sense of this is clearly not where you were. You have no memory of how you got here. You're floating in what looks like to be some kind of cloud. Yeah, this could easily be a dream.
Okay. And what I think I will then do is blink a few times.
Okay.
And look at my hands.
You don't have hands or arms.
So what I will then do is try and say, "Ha."
Bubbles appear out of your mouth.
Mentally, I say, "Ha."
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Your inner monologue is there. Yep.
I can still feel like my body, right? Even
Yeah.
though I'm not seeing it as that.
Yep. You definitely have a
Well,
body.
I'm trying to sort of touch my face,
Phantom limb.
chest, trying to see if I can physically feel the rest of me,
Yeah, they call it, I guess, maybe wriggling or something like that. Yeah, he can you definitely have a body, yeah, but no limbs as such.
Huh.
It's weird, right?
I think yeah, I think I'm probably gonna try and move.
Yeah, and you can almost snake forward through the clouds. Yeah.
And as I go, sort of just I don't even know if say is the right word in this
Okay,
context,
yeah.
but attempt to verbalize hello, where am I? What the hell is this?
Have you ever had a dream where you try and run and you're very slow, or something akin to that vibe?
Absolutely.
No, every dream in which I try to run, I fucking fall. Every one of them.
Okay.
There might be some sort of symbolism there.
Okay. In that aspect, then, that's every time you try and verbalize something, you have that this should be possible, but it doesn't happen.
Oh, right. I can relate to that because I get I have a history of sleep paralysis. So,
Right, okay, yeah, okay, yeah. So it's you're trying to verbalize, but there's nothing connecting with the mechanisms for it to actually work. Even though you know yourself, it should be happening. And then, can you give me a perception check, please?
I certainly can.
Thank
you. So perception 40.
Nice.
Not too bad.
You're not alone.
Okay, well
But
that's
you
upsetting. Well,
you
maybe
can't-
it's not upsetting.
You can't see it, right? Like, but you know there's something watching.
And I'm gonna just try then again mentally as if I am verbalizing, even if I'm not hearing it. I will try and say, hello. Who are you? Who's there? What the hell?
And
Is someone there?
like again, there's that level of frustration of you should be able to communicate. You know that, but again, you're hitting that wall, whatever that wall happens to be. If your like sense of like no, like everybody has like a sense of a situation just inherently, and then for like movies and TV shows, it's called the soundtrack. That would be like slightly tenser now, and the tension has risen. You can see shapes moving through the clouds now,
Okay.
as if like constantly trying to get out of your field of vision. It's like if you turn on the spot and things, like you're looking for like where this like it's almost you're almost the feeling of like being stalked.
I will sort of continue to try to talk, but just doing it within my own head.
Yeah.
And I'll say like, can you hear me? Are you listening to me? What's happening? Why are you? I know you're there. Why are you trying to hide? What are you?
And again, you're
The
met
fuck
with
is
that
going
same
on?
like that same level of like frustrated nothing as a response. Until again, for the audience at home, the soundtrack builds to a crescendo, and a massive like kind of aquatic looking, monstrous looking fish creature like swims out with a massive mouth, a maw, if you will, of teeth, like about to swallow you. And then the bigger fish swims past and eats that, and you just get like volleyed awake, roughly, by Thanaida saying Lyco over and over
Ah?
again as you
Yeah.
like fall out of the bed.
What? Yeah. Hello.
And then she like helps you up from the floor.
What's what?
And she looks at you and she's like, "Are you okay? You were talking in your sleep."
Oh, yeah, no, that was weird, metaphor.
She like tilts her head aside, like finishes like putting like her earrings in, and she's like, "Okay."
There was a bigger fish,
And
and
she
he
just
sort of like gestures to show like a large fish and then an even
Mhm.
larger fish as he says it.
she like half pays attention to you as she's like collecting her things. Clearly, well, the room's paid until this afternoon. I'm returning to my ship.
Oh, yeah, I should probably freshen up. Yeah.
Yes, you smell like the remnants of the minibar. And she just smiles at you.
I'll do that. It's a phrase, isn't it? There's always a bigger fish, right?
She
You've
looks at
heard
you
that.
and she goes, "Sure." Yeah, like she shrugs. Like,
Maybe that's where I got that from.
just nods and she goes, "Did you need anything else before I go?"
Probably not. I don't think so. Thank you for meeting up with me. It was good to see you.
She kind of like, again, like smiles a bit more genuinely this time, like a less teasing smile this time around, and she says, "It was nice to do something relaxing for a change."
Yeah, I guess it's been a while since I've let my hair down, and he probably sort of like touches his hair, just vaguely conscious
Yeah.
that it's always a mess, and
Mhm.
it's probably worse now.
She says, I'll be in orbit over Avalon for a few days, if you need me.
I'll give her just a nod.
Mhm.
I'll say, like, I'll be in touch. No doubt, something will come up.
She just kind of nods and then like looks at like the towel rack next to the bathroom door and just picks up a towel and throws it at you. And
Yeah.
says, until then. And then she leaves.
I'll go do that, and then he does.
Yeah. Obviously, for the audience at home, we have gratuitous service scene. For the fan service ratings.
Wow.
Yep. Very tastefully done, of course. But yeah. I don't know if you remember or not, but when you ordered the meal that you ordered, it did potentially add like psychedelic side effects to it.
Yeah, that does ring a bell.
Yeah.
It was some sort of soup,
Mm-hmm.
or
Yeah, it was because it was based on breathedden fish.
right, okay.
Yeah. And it would
But still,
evoke
the
visions.
symbolism, Ryan.
Yeah, but that's because Lyco's quite on the fucking nail on the head, right? Like, yeah, that might be how Lyco's brain interpreted fucking psychedelics. So, yeah, what does Lyco do once he's ready to leave the hotel?
Yeah, sort of getting all his stuff in order and preparing to exit. I think it'll sort of fire off a comm the guys, just keeping them up to date.
Okay.
And you know what? He'll also just send one to Zig just in case.
Yeah.
And from there, be like, okay. What do I need to do? What do I need? Right, yeah, obviously I've got her to agree to that, so I suppose we need to arrange that now.
Mm-hmm.
So I will probably return, speak to Helene
Yeah,
again,
sure, yeah.
not Van Halen,
Yes.
and get a sort of specific idea of what would be requested, and then
Yeah, because like,
just,
I think like
arrange
okay,
it,
we'll
right?
retroactively add in the fact that Tanadia doesn't say she was leaving immediately, right? Because yeah,
Yeah.
she won't be leaving orbit instantaneously.
Yeah,
she did
but
say
I
she would
mean
help
she's
her.
heading between orbit, so
Yeah.
like I mean she can get back. She's got
Yeah.
shuttle. So I will go back to Steward HQ, discuss like when can I bring her in, what will be required of her for this, etc., etc. Try and get a exact idea of what we're asking of her.
Do you want to roll your profession here, and we'll see how efficient all that entire process goes?
Just would love to.
Yeah.
The 39.
Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah. Essentially, Tanaida would be brought in like that evening, since this is quite early morning. They can have all the stuff like ready for her to be like, it's like by like what like clocking out time for most places. So yeah, so you've basically got the better part of a day to kill.
And I'm getting the sense that what they require of her is pretty much what I would think, like scans, maybe some
like a
bloods.
proper medical checkup, right? Like maybe a tiny bit more invasive than just a standard
Okay.
like kind of medical checkup.
But nothing that I should be specifically too concerned that she'll find objectionable.
Yeah, like just
Standard
maybe
stuff.
they'll just take like an extra couple of hours of blood than they normally would have needed to. So yeah, like that type of thing. But nothing like brain autopsy levels of like scary. Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yes. So yeah, I assume you're still gonna let Tanaida know.
I will indeed, yeah.
And obviously she will agree to all this because it has been pre-agreed to. I don't feel need to, I'm abridging a bit of this because I don't feel I need to like waste a lot of time on conversation we have already established she's agreed to.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah, and yeah, that kind of all gets approved. She says she'll meet you at Steward HQ, etc. Now I will highlight again because I don't know if it was like fully clear or not. When she said she was like traveling, she's going to go around Abalon, not versus where you are.
Oh, yeah, no, you're right.
Which is why I'm saying she's like there will be time before she travels. She was letting you know specifically where she'd be in the next few days.
Did she mention why she was going?
No, not at all.
No, okay.
You're quite well versed in Abalon, though, right? Like if
I'm from there.
she's running a cybernetics business, that's a machine planet. So
Yeah,
like
so that
that's
would
a
make
good
sense. It would be a great place potentially to find customers, also to find supplies.
yeah, and I think like you would be. I think Lyco's smart enough to put that together without anything, right? Like that seems. Even if that's not
That
why
may
she's
even
there,
be
that
the
makes the
best.
most sense to Lyco, right? I am as well, but that is probably why she's there.
Yeah, that's probably be like it's sort of what he didn't like about the world. So it's probably quite towards the forefront in his mind, the sort of mechanical nature of the place. So maybe that is his first assumption. So
Mhm.
it might not even have occurred to him to ask because it's just like, oh well, duh, she's doing
Yeah.
a cybernetics business, hence that's why she'll be going. Yeah, so I don't think he will really sort of bother checking with her why she's doing that because I think that is the assumption he would
Mhm.
make.
Yeah.
Well, I'm with Helene again.
Mhm.
I'd like to ask her some questions about her book,
Yeah. Can I have that
or more
scene?
about her hypothesis.
Did you tell Helen who Thanaida is? Or simply that you have like a dark elf DNA to compare?
I can't recall. I'll be honest with you.
Well, I'm asking like here, like a now, like decide like if you have or haven't. Cause that'd
I
be
think I would have been vague.
yeah, that was my gut instinct, but I just wanted to ask for clarity reasons. Because obviously I imagine Helen would have had a bunch of questions, but like, how do you know the Drow Queen from before? Right? That would probably be something that would come up.
I mean, it's not impossible that I mentioned it for some reason or other, but I really
I
don't
don't think you
recall having
did.
done so.
Yeah, but I just wanted to clarify. But yeah, yeah. So like, you can be obviously after you've told her all this and she's explained the time scales involved. Yeah, like these are both like in her, her lab ultimately at the kind of the basement levels of the steward building. What would you like to talk to her about?
So I will address the grey thing again. I'm interested in your hypothesis about the greys. My own experience was well, it wasn't just my experience, it was a shared experience with various people from various different cultures, species. Uh Curious how you square that. It's not like there's one type of person who is experiencing this. It's not like it's all humans in a certain world or of a certain belief structure or what have you. It's well, seems like it could be just about anyone. Perhaps some more than others, perhaps more people who are peripheral society, people who are
She has like
citizens,
a.
farmers, etc., etc.
As soon as like that part of the conversation comes up, like she's been fairly like business faced, if you will, up until that point. And then she just kind of like smirks when you mention like peripheral. Um, and she kind of like leans forward and she says, "Do you genuinely believe that you had an experience with the Greys? Why? Why do you believe this?"
Same reason I believe I've encountered all sorts of other species.
She like leans back in her chair and just kind of stares at you, and then like looks around the room a little, and then just says kind of like while like kind of not staring at you, just kind of says, "I think people want to feel important in their day-to-day life." And she looks back at you and just stares.
I think that's often true. But I don't necessarily think it's an adequate explanation of why one of the most famous Vesk in the system see them.
She laughs and she says, "Yes, nor yourself. Seems like quite enough has happened to you to gain a
I've had an
reputation."
eventful life.
She
And-
laughs. She just laughs at that and takes like the dregs of her coffee.
Oh, yeah. Unintentional joke, perhaps, there.
Yeah.
And, of course, the rest of our crew, we're all very different people, and we're all unusual in our own way. I have a reputation, I'm aware, but I certainly don't think of myself as anything all that special. I know I'm pretty capable in a lot of ways, but I don't imagine I'm one of the big shakers in the system. I'm not, one of these people deciding the fates of worlds. Well, not usually, but I feel like I'm important enough in my day-to-day life. I'm not desperate for some sort of meaning that I don't have. In fact, if anything, quite often I feel like too much is asked.
You see her like looking around her desk, and she picks up like another clearly from a day ago coffee cup that she just finishes as well, and then she says, "Then why you? Why your crew? If the Greys are real, why?"
That I don't know, but I would say it wasn't my crew they were interested in. My crew were incidental.
Yes, and it's our eyes immediately dart to the the kind of chambers, the stasis chambers and such.
As for why they might have been interested in Kivalari crew, perhaps they followed what was to them obviously not a perfectly innocent vessel. They might have.
She laughs a bit again, not like a heavy or invasive laugh, just a little to herself, and she goes, "Do you think they were perhaps attracted by the other conspiracy?" And she's got a bit of a smug face.
I think espionage. Well, imagine for a second you believe that there is a real, regardless of how many of the reports are accurate, there are consistent features between some of them that are consistent with what I experienced, which is these are creatures with some sort of psionic ability. They appear to be quite good at going unnoticed, and they also seem to be quite capable of just walking through walls. Now, admittedly, they're not the only people I've ever met that can pull that trick. But it's not common. You put that together with some sort of psychic power, and you got a creature that...
And she leans forward at that and goes, "Then why would they let people like these farmers and the like remember the events?"
Well, there's an assumption in that statement. Let.
She kind of nods to that, right? She acknowledges that.
They may not be capable of actually erasing. Memory is a fickle thing. And it's not always accurate. Obviously, it's never accurate, to be honest. But it's not... Obviously, I'm going based on my limited experience. I'm not some sort of psionic myself. I don't have the capacity to reach out and touch another's mind with my own. But deferring to those who have, absolutely not in any way gesturing to Thanaida.
Yes.
It seems like it's difficult to be precise, to be clean. Memory isn't like you can... It's not a physical thing you can just snip out.
Can I ask you as well, are you wanting this conversation to have happened when Tanaida's with you in the office?
I'm quite happy for it to happen.
Or,
yeah.
Did you want it when you were saying to, Helen, arranging the later meeting? When did you want it?
No, I would have it happen later. I'm quite happy for Thanaida to be there. I assumed from what you had said
let's assume, let's
fine.
assume that Thanaida hasn't arrived yet. But she should be due to arrive. Yeah, cool.
Okay, I'm happy.
Yep, cool.
Whatever. Yeah,
that's okay. I was a wee bit I was earlier in the day, that was all. But yeah, please carry on.
Yeah, okay. Well, if earlier in the day makes sense to you, that is fine. I didn't really have a strong preference. I just sort of assumed that's how it would sync up.
No, I'm happy with it at the end. It's better at the end, I think.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, so I would say I have worked with people who do exhibit these abilities varying degrees. And from what I understand from them, it can be quite a it can be a dangerous experience touching the mind of another being. However advanced a species we might be dealing with here, maybe there's a hard limit in how precise and how clean you can be. Maybe if you're not worried about someone being listened to, you don't really care too much if you do a good job of removing your capacity to tell. Maybe it's not just the farmers. Maybe
She
they're
gestures to you with her hand,
doing
goes,
it elsewhere.
evidently.
They weren't able to. I don't know what exactly they were trying to do, because obviously I do, but Lyko doesn't. So just to be clear, like, there's no way I would know just because they tried to do a psychic attack on me what it was.
Yeah, I get you.
So I believe it was a sleep thing, which would fit with other stuff we know about them.
I think you could, like, say, because obviously you've got your, like, phantom basal ganglia thing going on as well. Like, I think you could easily say you were, like, attacked by something that was trying to impose drowsiness or something on you. Like, I think you could have
Well,
that.
that's sort of what I was going to lean into there. It's like, maybe not that
that's fine.
specific, because I don't mind them not knowing, but I was going to sort of mention, like,
There's enough to say you would get an inkling, though. Yeah, I think that's fine.
I have some physical adaptations that don't appear in standard humans. Some changes that have occurred to my biology as a result of, just sort of like raises his hands up and sort of just slumps them down. Like, just sort of like, this.
Yep.
And while it's not always enough to actually resist, I'm more aware of psychic intrusion or influence than most people are. I can feel when something.
Did everybody lose him, or is it
In a
just
way
me?
that maybe I wouldn't have been able to before.
I think I was the one that was lost there. Do you want to start that again? That last sentence. You could feel.
Yeah, sorry. I was saying, like, I have a capacity to sense things trying to influence my mind, and sometimes I can push that influence back in a way that maybe I couldn't have done prior to.
You can see, like, Helene definitely looks intrigued by this, right? Like, she isn't treating you like she would treat, like, obviously, like, there's no, like, skepticism or judgment coming from her, other than just she's quite clear in how she feels about the matter. But she's not, like, dismissing anything you're saying. She is, like, completely listening to it. It's as if she is very, again, that scientific mind of, well, I'll listen to everything and then I'll make up my mind approach. But you can tell she spoke to a lot of people that have wasted her time.
Yeah.
You can definitely tell that from the conversational, like, kind of cues that you're witnessing from her. And I think you're probably realising it because you're in the service with her as well. He's all, like, these are all under the steward banner. She's giving away more body language wise happily than she would if it was, like, a random, right? Like, she's happy for you to be reading her type vibe.
There's maybe more a sort of openness about her attitude.
Yeah. And given, like, where you are within the organisation, right? Like, yeah, you aren't, like, nobodies or new recruits or anything. Yeah, and she's like, I'm assuming you wouldn't be submitting to any testing, then. She just smiles at you.
I have undergone some testing in a private capacity, and I'm sure I would be happy to agree to anything that the stewards wish to have administered.
She waves her hand to us. What if it wasn't the steward's interest?
Well, I'm not averse to finding out more.
She just, like, nods slowly as if she's kind of getting what she wants. Yeah.
I am not always eager that this information be known. I understand that people. It's
She unclips her steward badge and just sits on the desk and then looks back at you as if, was that enough?
it's not even. I just want to be very clear. My present condition is obviously very much known to the stewards, but it's not even that. It's more the Barai nature is experimental, and the degree and nature of the changes don't seem to be super consistent between us. I don't necessarily want to advertise. I think you'll understand if we go through with some tests why it would be my preference that some of these changes not be widely known. I think that
She kind of like leans
it's
back again.
easier
She was
to
like,
think of
"Is
me
there anyone
as
in
the guy that I
particular?
used to be. You don't know.
Anyone
Sorry,
in particular you're trying to keep this information from? You know I'm not."
No.
It's like, and she like gestures around. She goes, "You know I'm not doing this for the stewards. This is
It's
for me."
And Babak is well aware of my abilities. I believe it's not like I've discussed all of them with him, but I sort of like I had the suit altered to allow for the blades, right?
Yeah, you did. Yep.
Yeah. So I like just like gesture to like whatever side there's no one and nothing to
Yeah.
damage.
Like
and
away
just
from the desk or
release the
something.
blade.
Yeah. Yeah, and like there is that kind of. I wouldn't say like she's not like startled or anything like that, but there is definitely like a look of, well, that's unexpected, crosses her face.
Yeah.
But then it's immediately replaced with like intrigue,
It's easier for people to think of me as.
She cuts you off and goes, "Did it grow each time, or is that retracting into your forearm?" Like immediately, like starts to ask like, questions about the process.
I retract it into my forearm to answer her question.
So those just sit inside your arms.
It seems to become more compact and maybe more flexible when it's not active. I don't feel encumbered by it. I don't feel awkward or different, really. I'm only consciously aware of it while it's active. And yes, they both do that.
And she just like mutters something to herself, and then she says, "So you agree to the scans, so long as I keep your name quiet?"
If you want to use the data, let's say I would prefer it be thoroughly anonymized.
She laughs and she says, "How about publication?"
We're not exactly the largest population in the Pact.
She kind of nods and goes, "Which means there's interest." And she smirks.
It also means
my publisher is after another book, you see, and I am quite interested in this. She just gestures to like you.
As am I, as you might imagine. And I am open to anything that will help my understanding of it. But with the caveat that being as there aren't that many of us.
She looks at you and she goes, "Do you think the lycoquintness of you is important to the condition? Because if it's not, I don't see why I would mention your name."
It's not.
And she means it like reassuringly, right?
Let me just put it this way. It would be a lot easier to identify a specific Barai from anonymous data than it would be an elf, a human, Isoki. We're kind of a rare breed.
Kind of nods. Like you can tell she's kind of like she's processing already. Like
information that might be useful that wouldn't be specifically identifying could end up, age, sex, original species, I guess. If that's probably not the right way to put that, but
She just nods, like, and you can tell like she's already making herself a fucking like contents page in her head, and she's like, "Do you know any other Barai?"
not personally. Could find some.
Okay. Just nods.
There's a population. Well, you can guess where there's a population.
She kind of looks at you like as if you clearly can tell.
Yaks.
And then she nods as if, why did she even question that? Like, yeah, she just nods, of course.
Some of us think it'd be easier if we don't have to deal with the living, which is
She just laughs at that, like just like as if quite unexpectedly. She just laughs.
I assure you they're mistaken. Eox is a fucking nightmare.
She kind of collects herself a bit and she goes, "Okay." She like looks at her comm, and then looks at you and says, "This is interesting to me, Michael. I can't tell how she's referred to you before. I think she's called you Quint before, but like, Officer Quint or whatever.
Yeah, Lyco is not fussy.
But like, what I mean is, this is maybe the first time she's been a bit more familial.
Okay.
But I don't really remember how I've actually RP'd her, to be honest. Like, in terms of how she's addressed you, I don't even know if she's ever said your name, but she'd probably call you like Quint or something. Because of the way the stewards work and every cop drama ever. So,
yeah.
just
There
how
are tropes you must be made by.
they're the rules. So yeah, she'll call you Lyco, and you can tell it's an attempt to like familiarize yourselves with each other, right? Like she clearly wants you to agree for her to scan you and use your data so she can write a book and make money. That's the plan here in her eyes, and she is willing to jump through the hoops needed to make that work for her. So yeah, that's the kind of vibe you're getting there. Anything else you want to like interact with her on before?
Yeah, no, he's sort of quite willing to go along with that, but he's going to need some assurances. I think I'll also just like sort of take a minute to say to her like, I don't do this out the goodness of my heart. I would be very interested in anything that information can tell you, whether it might help you predict.
She then looks and he goes, "I'll give you 1% of the the book sales per Barai subject willing to submit themselves to the tests."
Well,
Up until and she says, up until the cutoff of 50%.
it's very reasonable.
She just nods because you can tell like
Can't
she's still obviously
guarantee
thought
much
all
in that
this.
regard, but I will agree to try. At the very least, I can guarantee you the data of this spry.
She nods. Then I guarantee you 1% so far. And she smiles.
Better than nothing. Anything that you can do to predict where this might go here. The doctor that I'd previously used, a very, very skilled doctor. But this is not exactly a field that many people specialize in, and no one's been able to really tell me what I might expect.
Any idea the numbers of your kind?
I shake my head. Small. We're. My understanding is that there are only certain conditions in which we can be created. Those conditions are vague at best, but I know.
If you get best, it's just Cinderella's autobiography title, isn't it?
Yeah, well, take it best. It's not just anyone that walks out into the street and gets, it's not just any old death that can create a Barai.
So you do believe it is tied to the cause of death?
Perhaps not necessarily the cause, but the overall circumstances are significant.
You can tell like she's just mentally taking as many notes as possible. She puts like her hand out like at that, and she just goes, "Before something awful happens, can we at least shake on this then?" And she puts her hand out.
And I do.
Yeah, and like she like shakes like fairly like significantly. And then like immediately like puts her hand back in like her pocket, like her lab coat, and then she says, "We'll put something in the calendar for this. This is Just nods as if again lost deep thought immediately. And at that point the kind of like calm goes, and she like looks at it. And she's like kind of like politely like acknowledges you that she's about to take a call, and like half turns and she's like, "Helen," and then you can hear that clearly Thanida's arrived, and she's like, "Oh, like we'll bring her in." Like that very much case of quite short with people attitude that she has, which is, "Well, why are you telling me this and not bringing her to me?" And then she turns back and says, "Well, it seems our guest has arrived."
Fantastic. She coming to us, yeah?
She nods. Yes. And then at that point we have like Thanida like escorted in by an officer. And I think we cut from there and we go all the way over. Because again, I'm not going to sit and roleplay out medical like procedures.
Are you sure?
This week, yes.
Okay.
And we cut all the way over to the wonderful back alley sales office room of Hugh Bob.
Ah, lovely.
Bob sat there, staring at you both hungrily, as he's just asking, "Did you hear about the business with the reactor breach?"
Reactor breach? You would raise an ocular ridge.
And he just kind of grins at you, and then he looks to Weird for Weird's reply, as if he's trying to read anything from you guys.
Yes.
Okay, do you want to roll this set or bluff? Sorry. Why not? Weird. Why not? Give me a bluff check.
I don't want to give Cube up the satisfaction.
I don't even know. Like, let's just see what happens. It might be a good roll.
Let me just get into the character sheet. I think we will. Weird's logic is that if you just say yes, it'll move the conversation on with this guy.
Oh, 100% get that's what you're going for. Yeah. But as you can imagine, Cubub is a distrusting fuck, I think is his exact technical term. But yeah. Well, hey!
That's it. Oh,
it's the
Chris.
best you could have done!
+2 for my flat effect.
Isn't it good that works? Like it's double-edged in a nice way.
Yes.
Oh dear.
And that's smart.
That's just, that's so good. Well, let me just roll a d20 and let's see what happens. Well, I think we can safely say that even with a good chunk of bonuses, he's just nodding as if, like, "Oh, of course you know, right?" Like he's eagerly nodding and like his neck and stuff rolling into itself. And then turns, he looks back to, he goes, "Don't you speak on that spaceship of yours?" And he kind of chuckles into himself a bit before like clearing his throat horribly. He's looking at you, Zora. Because you just said no and he said yes, right? So.
I mean, Vesk, we don't speak much, right? I mean, small talk isn't a part of our vocabulary.
He kind of like chuckles and he says, "You do fine by me." And he kind of like just chuckles again to himself.
Oh, unfortunately, he would whisper under his breath.
Roll whisper, no.
Roll whisper.
And then sleight of no. So yeah, he says, "Well, what do you think did it?" And he leans in, like as much as he can lean. Like his head just moves over his mass, and he kind of like moves towards you. Weird, like, "And who do you think's responsible?" Very conspiratorially.
It wasn't me.
He just laughs again. He goes, of course not, and he kind of like winks at you. His little antennas like just wave back and forth.
I shudder in my armor.
Just phase through the floor accidentally. And then he turns to Yuzora and says, well, what exactly is it you're looking for from me today? He grins.
Just the usual little bits and bobs and
He laughs.
things.
Yes.
That go boom. I would hand him a list.
Okay, what's on that list? Because you all filled your lists out, right?
Mine's is in the game manager. Let me see.
It is so many tabs away, isn't it? Like, why is the shopping
Yeah.
tab so far away?
Mine's is. Let me see. Where is it actually? Shopping. Shopping list. There we go. Found it. Yeah. Mine's is the Zora list in orange. Not the one at the top. The one near the middle. The bottom. Actually.
What? The middle bottom? Okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah, the bottom. It's
The one,
actually
with,
the bottom.
the one with
bottom.
all the spare
be
orange
honest.
that isn't used? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, the one with all the spare orange.
Why don't you just tell me
I was
the items
expecting
so
to buy
Bob can
more.
hear the items?
I would like a D-Suit 6, a Void Rifle Barrel Class, and a Plasma Doshko Blue Star.
Okay, chuckles to himself. He goes, Doshkos are quite, difficult to come by, you know.
Just some plasma inhibitors and a Blue Star regulator all day. I can do the modifications myself.
He kind of like chuckles to himself. He goes, of course, yeah.
Look at that for Star Trek starts.
It's alright, yeah.
Babble, man.
Yeah. Some good Trekno babble on the go, yeah. Where's this Captain Venalor game? Is that everything?
Yeah, that should be good. For me, I'm pretty sure that I guess I will hand over like a list of Lyco stuff that he probably gave me at some point.
Is there an up-to-date list for Lyco?
I think it's Grave Mantle. Is that Grave Mantle Officer, Bone Blade Mark 4, Magic Resistor Mark 4, 2 and stuff? That's pretty expensive looking stuff.
Where is this list there?
Somebody's clicking on it.
Yeah.
No. 700,000 for Bone Blades Mark 2, that's got to be it, right? Yeah, that's got to be it.
Okay. Is that right, Colin?
There's a Assassin Rifle Spectre as well, I'm assuming, and all that stuff. It's for
No idea.
what he's needing. No, that's level 12, so that can't be.
I am unsure. As I said, I feel like we've had a month to sort this
Yeah.
out.
That's so it doesn't get confused.
I was like, we've lost Colin.
Yes,
It seems.
I think Colin has.
Oh, he's BRB.
able-
Yeah, he typed
Okay,
BRB.
okay,
I
cool.
didn't see that. It's because my Discord gets muted when I stream. So notifications don't come through apparently. Okay. Weird.
I'll throw them across my list. I've had, which is all of that stuff in green. There's quantity 1 next to it.
The stuff
The big green blob.
above where we
Big
think
green
Collins
blob.
is, yeah.
4.3 million worth of stuff.
What's been happening then? What have I missed?
What you wanting from Mr. Q Bob, son?
Yeah, what's
I think I did.
Could be.
is it your list
update
which is
my-
is it the thing that totals it like 1 million? The Grave
Hard to
Mantle
say.
Officer,
Where's the
concealed
money
compartments.
pit? Shopping.
The
Oh
spell
yeah,
money.
yeah. I think did I stop shy of the highest tier of Bone Blades? Maybe.
Mark 4s?
No, item level 18 probably is the highest level.
Get yourself a sniper rifle as well if you want. If there's like spare money to be had, I always spend like 1.6, so you've got like,
Also, thank you, Siren.
to play with.
Okay, if you can afford to, I don't think my sniper rifle is going to cost anything close to that. So how about I get back to you on that one after the fact and give you a ballpark price? The now.
Or you could look at while they're in their scene, telling Bob.
I mean, I
what to
could do
yeah,
that.
Yeah,
That'd
that'd be
be
handy.
Racist.
Because we have had a month plus really, waiting on your
I
flipping list.
thought I was over budget. I thought we were getting $1 million each.
2 mil each, technically. Because remember we were down Callum, so it was technically like
Who's Callum?
exactly.
Exactly.
We were down.
Okay,
Callum.
right, 2 mil each. Okay.
Yeah. That's between the three of
Technically,
you.
it's like-
It's
that's
1.5
technically-
really. Like it's if you were splitting it
Yeah.
with Callum.
But he's
Callum.
dead to us.
Yeah.
Well, there's
Zeg.
about 400k spare for my lot. 450 spare.
And how much of Weird is going to be left after this?
Yeah.
Weird is
weird.
transcended.
I like that there's just formal clothing in there though. That's my favourite part of the list. Like
5 pairs. I want to make sure I've got a decent
Oh,
clothes.
you're a businessman, yeah.
I'm an important businessman now.
it's gonna be so awkward to get like trousers fitted for your X legs, I suppose.
Yeah.
That'll be fine.
I can change my legs back into prosthetics for important meetings.
I don't know. I think it's a power play, right? Having the 4, right?
On the ceiling.
Yeah. Yeah. Coming from through the ceiling, descending into your chair. Yeah. Yeah. Right. So, what else we got going on? So, where do you want to list your stuff for him as well?
React Guard, Rad Cannon, Rail Cannon, Stormcaller, Riot Shield, Magic Resistor, Privacy Shield, Force Field, Electrostatic Field, the basic essentials. That was quite expensive, I'll give you that.
Oh, I could use one of the electrostatic fields myself, actually.
It's only what 35k for one of those for
Yeah,
a Mark III. So yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't it fun being in a game where you've never really had to realistically worry about money, and then in a game that has such ridiculous prices anyway? Such a weird economy, this game. I love that your force field your prismatic force is a fucking million. It's a
I know.
million.
Yeah.
What's the Riot Shield Paragon?
Did you ignore the dragon gland? Like,
Oh, who cares about the Dragon Gland? He's got a Riot Shield Paragon.
Dragon Gland out of my list. No, Riot Shield is just what it says. It's a massive fuck off Riot Shield.
Fair enough. I've not seen you with a shield before, so.
I have had a shield. It's just been a little pop out one.
Oh, okay.
But I do have shield proficiency. It's just that it's in one of my other arms, so
Yeah.
I don't need to mention it when I'm
Oh,
also
okay.
using a rail cannon.
yeah.
Hey, fair enough.
Remember, he has 4 arms. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that I can make use of all of the equipment.
Okay. Michael, there seemed to be some joy coming from you there when you were looking at something.
I noticed I'd forgotten about the nanite rifle. I need to remember what exactly that does because I might want to shoot nanites at people.
Nanomachines. Yeah, what book's that from?
Armory.
Okay. Let me go have a look at that then, shall we? Armory. You got me a page number?
I seem to be unable to find it, but it is on the sniper table on page 25.
Okay, let me have a wee nosy for
Nanite rifle elite, I would like, which is a 60-12.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, no, to be fair, the coil rifle assassin's probably better because it's 12d6.
That, like,
But
yeah.
it does have a short range.
Yeah.
But 750 feet is still quite a long
I was gonna
range.
say 750 feet versus 1,000 feet. Yeah. You don't care about unwieldy, do you? Is that a thing you care about?
Unwieldy doesn't really matter because I'm going to aim anyway, but it
Mhm.
means that the coil rifle I could sort of use on the run.
Yeah.
Which is nice because,
Yeah.
16 rounds it can hold.
What is unwieldy again? Does it just take like a full action to swap to it or something?
You can't use full attack.
Yeah,
Okay, you can't
Right.
use full attack. Okay.
So
yeah,
I think
it's
based on all that, coil rifle seems like it's better for you just purely.
coil rifle does because you can go all into it. Yeah, you can just unload.
And I don't know what's better, bleed 4d6 or severe wound. I don't know what's
I think
better.
severe wound's really scary, but I can't really check here because it's in the I think it's in the player book.
It's probably in the core book, yeah.
Core book, yeah.
Okay.
But 4d6 is even more d6s to add on to the 12d6.
What's the A after 6d12? What does that mean?
That's the damage type? I am not sure what that is. Let me check.
Yeah, I was looking at going, what damage type's A?
It's a damage type.
Yeah. That's interesting. Because you get piercing, bludgeoning, slashing. Obviously you've got fire, electric.
There's acid?
Is it acid? Because all the nanite ones are A.
That's an acid?
Yeah.
Interesting. I suppose like it would act like that if it was eating away at something, right? If nanites did consume.
Yeah, I guess that's the idea, which is kind of hilarious.
Okay, so that's something to consider. It's acid type damage, I guess.
It looks like I'm trying to find a Google result that would answer this question.
Yeah.
Starfinder nanite weapon.
It might just also be anti-biological. It might be that, but I think that's a property that would be listed as anti-biological rather than A. That's so strange.
Yeah.
So strange. I love that there's mind affecting on here
My
as well.
God, there's this, right, the severe wounds table. Oh. Well, that is severe wound table. It's D20, 1 to 10, general. It does an extra 1d6 bleed. That's not very impressive. The other one already has 4d6 for regret. 11 to 13, I. It's a reflex save. It doesn't specify what the save is, but lost eye is the effect if you fail. -2 perception. And also, you lose one of your fucking eyes.
Yeah.
14 to 15. Leg. Fort. Severed limb. -10 land speed. 16 to 17. Arm.
-10 land speed? He handled that pretty well. That
Yeah.
last one.
Yeah.
Like,
And that's, yeah, like you lose a hand. Vital organ is 18 to 19. 1d4 con damage. 20 isn't that impressive. It's brain, stunned 1 round.
Stunned is pretty awful though as a condition for at least a round.
Oh
Like,
yeah, it
that-
sucks, but like when you consider that like an 11 to 13 is one of your eyes is gone.
Mhm.
And like 14 to 15 is goodbye leg. And then 20 is you're stunned for a turn.
It,
You lose your brain.
yeah. Until you
get
find
it back quite quickly. So
Yeah.
you lose your brain for about 6 seconds.
That's so good. It's just. Okay.
It's pretty scary, but on the other hand, I'm looking at the coil rifle, and I'm looking at the 12d6
Mhm.
with the potential 4d6 on top of that, and the 16 round capacity, and I'm thinking, lol.
It's the fact
now.
that you hit them and then they will be bleeding each turn for so many turns, I assume, with bleed. Right? That's my assumption there. Or is it just everything in one go?
I have never had anything that procs bleeds before, so I don't
So
know.
I would assume it'd be like ongoing fire effect damage, right? Is my assumption for that column.
I would assume so as well, but this is a Paizo game.
Yes. So we'll look at the poison rules.
Question mark?
Just. Yeah, I think you're better with a coil gun, but I don't know enough about that, I'll be honest.
Into the coil gun more.
I do think that it's looking very snapshotty.
I like the
better.
sound of the coil gun.
Also, I don't know if anybody's seen it, but the Diamagnetic Stormhammer just sounds amazing.
That's a good name.
That's great, isn't it? Like,
is that what the monkeys use in Halo?
yes, from what I'm staring at right now. The answer is yes. I'll show the art for it. Let me put this in. There you go. There's what the art is in the book for it.
Oh yeah, that is
just
the monkey hammer.
Yeah, 100%. That's pretty cool. Okay.
Right, let's see if
I also love this. It's where are we here? To that. Do you ever find a shotgun too encumbering? Try a shotgun glove.
Good logic.
Great.
Yeah, you know what?
It's great.
I suspect something a little bit more elegant for this sci-fi magical setting.
What I love is
Literally
it feels the most Vesk shotgun ever. Like
it's just like, well, we had a glove and then we put 2 pelts on it and then you hit them and boom.
great.
Coil rifle is a long, slender firearm surrounded by a coil that generates carefully aligned magnetic fields that accelerate a single round with so it's a
It's a
railgun.
railgun.
Yeah, with impressive power and accuracy. A precision coils are most favored of the most affordable of these weapons, while specialist coil rifles have greater range and efficacy.
Why I'll have
Rangefinder,
just
saboteur, and
voiced a hole
assassin
in
coil
you.
rifles are especially deadly weapons that are appreciated by true connoisseurs, veteran mercenaries, and experienced firearm specialists. It sounds perfect for me.
It's a good one. As I said, I think it sounds like the one, to be honest. And it's slightly cheaper, which is weirdly nice than the other one, despite seeming better. I think you're just paying.
Although
for the
I'm also
range.
looking at the Ultrathan scythe, which would make no sense for my build, but also looks very thematically fitting.
I was gonna say yeah, but is a scythe. Yeah.
Oh, look, there's also what do you call them? Yellow Star Solar Band. It's what do you call the Protoss weapons?
I have no idea.
Proton. I don't know. Fucking the idea.
You know the fan at home. Google Protoss, and you'll see what I mean. The Templars use them.
Are you talking about like the lances here? That we're talking about.
Let me. No, it's Protoss Blade. Oh no, this is gonna be named like a fucking computer or something.
You're meaning the Star Solar brand things, the things that like generate the blades?
Yeah, the Psy Blade.
Yeah,
the Protoss has it.
I know what you mean now. Yeah, I get what you mean now. 100%.
Yeah, like that sort of thing.
Yeah. Okay, but anyway, what's on your list? What are we going with?
Right, I am gonna go with the coil.
I think it's a good. It looks like a good choice. I assume obviously the assassin rank.
Oh yeah.
I like the implied career shift though for the coil gun itself, right? Because it starts off as coil rifle precision. Somebody wanting to make a mark for themselves. Coil rifle specialist. They've made a mark in their career. Coil rifle rangefinder. They're now somebody people actively seek out for help. Then immediately goes to saboteur. Okay, their career's taking a turn. Yeah, and then coil assassin.
We've all had that moment in the office, haven't we?
Yeah.
I could
go from like specialist to rangefinder to saboteur.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Okay. So, do we have the budget for 590,000, folks?
I mean, he only spent $1 million of his own. I've got 400k left.
4.3 million is what was on Weird's. So what are we sitting at now? What is Weird say?
I mean, we didn't have the budget for me and Weird with that fucking price.
If I take off the clothing,
I love that you deleted like
Great
hygiene
idea.
kit and clothing formal.
I want the reactor
Sometimes you
guard.
have to sacrifice your hygiene kit.
Yeah, it's the.
And that was oil.
It's been so long since I've looked at this.
Alright, Nico, what was
Realistically,
like
I'll
what was
take
your
off the
budget?
force.
Like what was yours at? What was your total at?
153, 1.53, something like that. Yeah, 1,522,100 credits.
Okay, do I type that somewhere for people to use? Oh, you have, cool. 1522100, is that you?
That's it. Yep.
Cool.
And I am 1616. Oh my god!
616!
675.
And there are 3 6s in there as well if you want to just make that connection. So there you go.
Actually, what was the Ultimate Universe's number again?
Oh, it was 1616, yeah.
Oh my god!
Yeah. The fact that I remembered that was like, that's living rent free in my brain apparently.
I thought it might be.
Yeah.
I thought it might be. Yeah, so the Bone Blades
No.
Mark IV are biggest individual chunk of that, but on the other hand,
But
let's be
that's
honest,
though.
they're probably what I'm going to actually use.
Right, so we got.
Okay, there we go. I've got a box here.
Okay. So what's left over for Callum?
Oh, is Callum getting any?
I don't. Well, that's what I'm asking. What's left
At
over?
the back. Okay. So what price were the? Yeah, I suppose. Listen, I suppose if we're going to be adventurous here, I could go up to the Mark V. Oh, hold on. What's this? Bone Blades Mark IV is not.
It's a picture of a sexy Tyranid.
No, sorry, I've accounted for the fact that you buy them separately. It's not like you get them as a set. That's fine. So the Bone Blades Mark V are more than that each. So I don't think I
Wow.
can afford them right now.
What is their individual price? Like, is it 900,000 or something?
No, it's 775,000 each.
Wow. Mark Fives though.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, a lot
But
of
it
ones
does-
go for like
It specifically describes it as a blade repeatedly. So clearly you're
Yeah.
getting one for each necrograft.
Interesting.
But the Bone Blade Mark IV is still quite good. I mean, it's 5d8.
Okay, so how about we look at this then? Let's see. Up that price, see that 700,000 that you've got on your list?
Uh-huh.
Up it to the cost of 1 of your 5s, right?
Okay.
And I'm just going to burn through some of your golds that you got past 20. There you go. Just get yourself a
Nice.
set of
So
5s.
make a
I did say I'll try and use the goals you've earned since for something.
Love it. I look forward to my 5d10 million packs.
Because why not? Right at this stage in the game.
I just love that that's like the sort of it counts as an operative weapon for me. So I love that that's the subtle version.
I've scored out those goals to imply I've spent them.
Okay.
Rather than anything else, if that makes sense.
Okay. Not just because it was hashtag goals.
Yes.
Okay.
And we've got 1, 2, 3. I'm going to assume none of you have an issue with me reserving the 3 other ones here, just so as we can get Callum
absolutely.
gear when he gets
Ah,
Pierce.
he's got magic, man. He's got magic. He doesn't need gear. I'm just joking.
So do you!
Mate, don't get into this. I need guns because
Lad,
I just
boy,
did. All right.
Right, okay, right, so where are we at now? So, likely you've upped your value, good. I know it ruined the 1616 thing, but here we are. You got Mark 5s.
It happens.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just have to roll with it. Thank you, though. I appreciate
Yeah, like as
appreciate
I did
the,
say, I would try and look for a way to make the goals matter. So this is an easy one for me because it's so like it's very iconically the action figure for, Lyco. So
Yes, it is. It is his toy. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. It is his
and that's fine.
accessory.
And Mark Fives are the
Now
highest,
with
right?
blade action.
Yeah. Push the button on his back and they both spring out. Yeah. Until they jam. Alright, what else we got? So, is this figure floating in the middle accurate, given that we've just went up a little bit?
It's drawing it directly from the total.
The total's perfect. Perfect.
How would it be anything else with this master of the spreadsheet, this lord of the workbook?
I think Warlord of the Workbook is a good one.
That is definitely like
Yeah.
a Tom Holt novel or something.
Right.
Does anyone remember Tom Holt?
Weird.
do
Back
not.
on topic. Weird. Is that your final list?
That will be my final list for now.
Okay. Perfect. And that leaves like 40k for Callum, ultimately. Plus
That's
3 goals
so
worth
much
of something.
tinfoil.
It
That
is.
goes worth 500k, right? I mean,
Well, the goals are worth whatever 3 minus that is, so what would that be? What's your thing divided by 3? Like, what's 775 divided by 3? It's roughly about like
200 odd.
Yeah, it's about 225. Like, it's alright. Reasonable. So there's that left over roughly. Oh, that's not a 4, that's... There we go. It's just so I can kind of gauge, like, so Callum can get some shinies at some point as well.
Thankfully, Callum, being a magic man, probably just wants armor, right? He doesn't use gun.
And flares, he'll just buy it.
Yeah,
it'll be...
he'll get her gun this level anyway. So.
And I'm pretty sure that gun CC gave him was like a level 14 or something, right? So like that pistol wasn't nothing. Do you know what I mean?
No, it was a pointed message.
That was so funny. Just how everybody took that differently as well was so good. But anyway, so yeah, this is your list's final answer.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. And then, yeah, I think like the remainder of that particular scene is you two and Bob like shuffling down into his big warehouse again, and a bunch of the I'm gonna use the term like maybe malnourished people wandering around acquiring it, like some kind of rainforest based warehouse job. Off they go, fetch the items for you. And he says, do you need them delivered to your ship?
Sure. Is it? Yeah, why not? Saves us dragging them through the streets.
Quite, yes. Unwanted attention. Okay, like chuckles to
Would not.
himself. And then he says, a simple, 5% fee on top of it all, of course.
Oh, no, we
My
didn't.
null space chamber.
He'll stick it in his null space chamber.
Yeah, he just nods. Of course.
Can't believe we just tried to swindle us.
I don't think he did. I think he just tried to, use capitalism.exe. So yeah.
Which is in and of itself a con.
Yes. Con save at least. So, yeah, these get your stuff after some faff. Obviously, doesn't immediately all arrive, but like he does make arrangements for things to get like delivered and whatnot, like to his warehouse and then to you guys. Probably takes a better part of like a day. At some point during that day, you'll get a message from Lyco. Not Lyco. What did your message say to them?
Pretty basic rundown of like got Thanaida in doing some tests soon. No update on Chakos. Basic bit stuff, essentially letting them know that I am continuing to work on it.
And this was, I assume, text-based rather than psychic, because that was the implication you gave it.
Did I? I would have done it by text just because it feels like filing a report.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. Like, that's why, like, that's the implication I got, was it was text-based rather than psychic. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
agreed.
Excellent.
Because psychically contacting them sometimes is a pain.
Yes.
They're not even in this plane of existence sometimes. It's
Yeah.
rude.
Which is fair. Yeah. Any reply from?
There was something about us wanting to get Finida to meet us in Triaxis or something, right?
Is that something you
I'll
did
hold it,
ask
go.
me?
I think there was something about us wanting to get Finida at Triaxis, and perfect situation. We don't need to go and get you if she's coming to us and you're with her, right? Right?
So they're
Yeah.
They're
Well,
currently in Versus. Tanida did
Mhm.
tell Lyko she's going to go to Abalone,
yeah.
right?
Mhm.
And Traxxas is the other way.
Okay.
So that's just so Nico can make like an informed decision. Obviously, I don't think Lyko has told Zora Tanida's travel plans.
No, I wouldn't have.
Yeah, that's sensible to not do that. In terms of like sending it through a comm system.
Mhm.
Signed, Captain Ren Ardillion. No offense.
Oh, that's a
man.
low, Stephen. That's a low.
It's just, I'm not even saying that to like make fun of that scene or anything. I'm just saying that because it's it's like one of those cautionary tales now in the in my GMing history. But yeah. So,
But
remember, you could just reply psychically, Zora. Like, remember that.
yeah, I probably would. But you're with Finida?
And depending on when the time syncs up, I might say yes.
She's probably on some kind of scanner right now while they're
Yeah,
doing their medical test. Maybe
I
you're waiting
will
outside the
mentally-
room? Like, maybe you're. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, here's a
sort
question.
of be
Would Lyko
about
stay in
waiting.
the room while she's being, like, subjected to the test? Or would you leave?
I think
Nida
it'd be more
wouldn't
polite
care.
to leave and wait in some appropriate
Mhm.
sitting area. So
Okay. Yeah.
you could go and maybe do something on the computers again. Say, just standard double checking leads, checking up in what the forums are saying, having a glance at some news pages,
No worries.
and mentally respond. Actually, right now she's undergoing the tests. You need something from her?
I mean, we're gonna need that golden egg at some point in the near future.
Sure, that makes sense.
You just have that.
Oh, wait, we do have that, don't we?
Yeah, she gave you it on the sun.
Oh, we do
Wait,
have
sure,
that.
he
Query.
did give us in the sun. I wasn't on the sun.
Sworn there was a reason why we wanted Finida in the place.
I feel like there was, but I don't think I know what it is.
I
Alex,
cannot remember.
Do you remember why they feel they wanted Tanida on Triaxis? It's not like a loaded question, I just genuinely was asking if you remember.
I
or not.
genuinely can't remember as well, man.
What was that, Alex? You were very quiet.
I have no idea. I have no memory of this place.
Yeah. I'll look back at my notes. I'll see if I've noted this down at all. Right, so definitely nothing in the last two that I've noted for that. The one before that was when we introduced Article 1, so no, nothing really much that I can remember there. Was it anything to do with what Babak and Matva are up to? Does it tie into that at all?
I mean, we did mention our presence to both of them.
Yeah, so that was session 109. Was obviously like 108 and 109 were like obviously the line in the sand, etc. And everything from that. That's obviously when Zig departed. Before that, there was Zig had found Alice's body. Remember, in the tank. Finn was booted up. What else we got? Before that, 106. Edgar's farewell. And then Zig teleporting the bomb. Before that, boss fight. That's what we wrote for that. Before that, so we're at 104. 3rd anniversary.
Jeez.
As actually the entire summary of my notes, it just says 3rd anniversary. There's no notes beyond that. Session 103. It says Alice brain data. Makes perfect sense. And 6 million credit with QBob. So it's been since 103. That's September, folks, for our shopping list. So at least we did that efficiently. Ideas to true access. MO bioweapon. The only thing I've got here that's even remotely related to Thanaida is something about getting Query to Castrovel as like perhaps a safe house, because you were going to plonk him somewhere safe. And it was like in the ruins of her like castle. So but beyond that, there's nothing here. Like, and that's been, as I say, that's like me back to 103. So
Well, maybe it was just misremembering. I could have
No, we
sworn there
definitely
was
did
there was a
discuss the
reason.
idea of doing it. I just don't really remember what you guys had said.
Mm. Yeah, I cannot remember at all if there
yeah,
was.
I'm looking back still. So 101, Matva chats with Zora, Lyko talks with MO, offers identity of Query. That's when you all spoke with Mr. White Blossom. 102, plans, try and get the Alibrian. Mr. White Blossom Thanaida. Lyko's contract with MO about Edgar. All the subjects you and MO talked about. Talanis' commissioning of Aspis. That's mentioned here as well. Alice might know more when MO obviously explained she sees Alice as her own individual person now, but she probably has access to the data they need to make the bioweapon. Yeah, like I feel like if you were, I know this game is kind of like, as I said, it's a slow burner, so a lot of things can be mentioned many sessions ago before they play out, but that's me back to like session 99. I'm like, Also, my notes for session 100 just say 100th session. Level 18 gained.
True.
Yeah. That's nice. Also, session 99 just says done. That's my notes for that. I don't know if that means the session was done. I'm done. The game's done. That's my entire notes for that one. Where is it? Session 98. It looks like the phrase interdimensional cabal, but who knows what that could say. Let's see. Soren, Ashanta. Oh, that was your hypnotherapist. Yeah, that was 98.
Yeah.
Your hypnotherapist guy. And then, obviously, as soon as we did that, it went
longer ago, but then we've had some considerable gap.
Yeah, as I said, it's been the winter life there. So we've had the hypnotherapist guy, and then since then it went into White Blossom, that went into bioweapon and MO, and then that went into that was like cycled into the stewards. We got to versus, user gearing up. Yeah, I'm not saying anything that even remotely hints at Thanaida's need to be somewhere at all.
Yeah.
Like, and I mean, honestly, it could be further back than 98, right? Like, I understand it totally could be, because it could have been an idea we threw up like 40 sessions ago. But yeah, I'm not seeing anything that even hints at that.
Right, well, scratch that then.
Okay, yeah.
Scratch the even you're with Finida part, because I totally thought there was a reason to have Finida on Triaxis, but no, I cannot
Well,
remember.
let's look at it a different way then. What can Thanaida do, and what do you need done on Triaxis? That's a better like approach, right? So what would you have liked done on Triaxis, Zora?
I genuinely think it was to get the golden egg, but I don't think that's an issue anymore. I genuinely think that was the reason why we had to like.
Oh my god, do you know what it was? It wasn't. It's because the reason why we're confused is because you always mix up the eggs. The void egg and her vault.
Oh, that's right. We need to get into the vault.
That's
Of
a good
course.
point. I also always forget about the void
It
egg.
just came back to me there. Yep, I will write that down just now on my notes so that that's a thing we remember at some point. So
We need to potentially maybe get into the vault.
Also, that has been a long in the tooth thing, by the way, getting hard to get that back, because that's been since the timelines got fucked. Level of ongoing. No wonder none of us remembered, because we only half remember that happening. Thanaida's vault access for void egg. That is it. But remember, the reason why you were hesitant was A, just because we didn't have Zig, and that was the thing. The last time it happened, Zig spoke to Urgalas when that happened, remember? And he thought he'd lost Thanaida. And is the act of opening the vault gonna, perhaps be the thing you need to draw Urgalas out? I know that's why you were hesitant before. That's all coming back to me now.
I think it was like we were going to use that to draw him out, right? I think it was like deliberately to
Yeah,
bait
that was going to be
Wait.
the flare, if you will. Yeah.
him.
Use
Oh.
as bait, or I'll just add this in for Urgalas. Maybe. There we go. I've wrote it down. Let's hope this is remembered. There you go. That's why you wanted her. That'll be a reason. Yeah. Because that's when, I think when all that happened, that's when I think Sindel pulled the egg back. Because it was all in Thanaida's ship, right? On the Azure Flare. That's her ship's name, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. Just because I mentioned Flare 2 seconds ago, because it obviously, like, the signalling of him, but it felt weird. Okay, yeah. So that's where we're at. But anyway, what do you reply to Lyko?
Oh, yeah, you were back for either. Yeah.
We're doing well.
I don't suppose you could ask her how she feels about opening up a vault to bait a certain Librian. When you got time, of course.
Oh.
Hello? Hello? Oh, my net down.
No, I've got.
Oh, hey.
Yeah. Is Lyko just not responding, or?
No, sorry, I missed something.
Eh,
Right, I heard you there, but what did you say before hello?
did I say it before?
Yeah, you were communicating with me, but I didn't.
How do
Oh,
you feel?
Right,
Yep,
right. Oh, yeah. How do you feel about asking Fanaida how she feels about baiting a certain Orglass or a certain doorway?
I feel fine about it, but I don't really know how she feels about it until I ask. She's kind of busy at the moment. I'll speak with her, but no guarantees. It's kind of, you know.
Well, we are currently just finished up with Q Bob. I don't know why I keep on saying Q Bob, considering it's just Bob.
It's
but
Bob,
I
yeah.
can't help but say Q Bob.
He kind of became Q Bob, right? But it is Bob.
Yeah.
That is his name.
It's just Bob. I just see like Q Bob as a more insultive way to call him it, right?
Yeah.
It sounds like that Q Bob guy.
Maybe the crew
like,
do call him Q Bob.
Do you think
Right.
we need to definitely involve her, or can we just get that egg?
It's more if we plan on baiting in Argalas. I can't really think of any other way to do it.
Sure.
Not
It was a good
without.
plan, but we don't really have Zig to hand at the moment. His presence was part of that.
True. Mean, can you think of any other way to bait him in? Without using the solar egg, which I don't think we want. I don't think we want Argalas to know we've got all the eggs.
We don't do.
No, and this just in, someone has the rad egg.
Okay. Let me. And then as he's saying that, I'm sort of like having a look at some news front pages regarding how. Akaton.
Akaton, yeah. And Daza.
Yeah,
I assume.
Akaton. That's a specific. Yeah. I to see if there's any news about. I don't know, some terrible
Feel free to roll
catastrophe or what happened.
computers or space cop if you want to go look up the like any records that might exist, because you are in like the Stewart HQ. So yeah. We'll do
I wouldn't even necessarily be looking at the records. I would just like look at okay, what's on the public net right now, right?
Okay.
As an immediate like
so-
first. Oh, is there something?
So yeah, like there's nothing on the public net. That's the why you need to look up records.
Okay.
Because there isn't
And
anything
then
on
I
it.
will space co-op to dig further. And it's a better roll.
It is a better roll. You're right.
It's a better roll. And
Yes. It looks like there's a indication of some attempt at breaching the reactor, but nothing seems to have been taken. There was some minor damage that the repair crews have been set to. All the official reports that were needed to be filed about, a crime has been committed here, have all been submitted properly, etc. But nobody was caught. Nothing seems to have been taken.
yeah.
And
Okay.
the damage isn't going to affect anything for too long that it can't just be fixed with every day being retasked to fix it, if that makes sense. So there might be some intermittent power cuts over Daza, but nothing major, which is good because it doesn't mean everybody will die of radiation or anything. So, which doesn't.
So our
which
assumption
which
was
yeah,
wrong then?
yeah, but again, you just didn't ask anything else about that, right? It was just and
That
Kiowa
was
didn't
a
share anything
total
else.
assumption.
Oh,
It was
100%.
an
That's fine.
assumption.
But
It's
that's
reasonable,
odd.
yeah.
That is odd.
Yeah, I see some news about the reactor, but nothing major.
Oh, so no one got their hands on the Radic?
I don't know. It doesn't. It seems unlikely that wouldn't have. Would have made our records at least, even if it didn't make. The public media. But why did you? Sorry, remind me what exactly was happening with that. Why did we think it might be gone?
Just Bob mentioned something about somebody breaking into the reactor. I just assumed that it would be done by somebody fairly capable of doing so.
It is odd for someone to, unless it was just someone very, very overambitious. But yeah, weird that someone would try that and not have the capacity to see it through. I'll see if I can find anything in my end. But while you're there, wouldn't be a bad idea to ask around, Captain.
You would hear the creak of the neck. Yeah, it's not a bad idea at all.
Use some of that VIP status.
I guess I probably would chuckle at that.
I love it.
I will
Mentally
report back
chuckling.
to you when Zenaida has been through her tests, and I'll speak with her. It shouldn't take too terribly long. But yeah, just have to see what she says.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'll go start prodding around the locals and see if they are willing to tell us anything. Are we in Daza right now?
Yeah.
I cannot remember. Yeah,
That's
we're in Daza. Yeah.
User in Daza, this is where
I never remember if it was this a flea market or whatever the hell the place was called.
Hive Market. Yeah.
Hive Market. Yeah, I couldn't remember.
Let's see. Do I have? I think this is the image that I used for it. 2 seconds. I'll need to adjust it because the way the dynamic lighting affected every page, it was like nobody can see anything because of dynamic lighting, even though it's not. There we go. I think. Remember this looking place?
Yep, I do indeed.
And this is what Daza's streets looked like. It was all built in kind of circles around the main reactor, and I remember saying if this was the equivalent of a big kind of neon Q, that stands for Bob's. So yeah, user in Daza. Yeah. That's where yours be.
Yeah, then I'll see. I'll go start asking the locals and see what they might know.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody spotted something. I'm immediately going to go look for sparks.
So good.
He has proven himself to be the best source of information.
Let's go back
Premium
to all the
best source of goods as well.
Best source of bag.
Yes. Okay. Anything else you want to exchange before you part psychic ways?
Not from I, unless there's something I'm forgetting about, and if so, scream at me. But I can't really think of it.
I can't think of anything there, but I'm just amazed we got that Snyder answer personally. Like that's more impressive than anything else that we got there.
Mhm.
But oh, weird. Anything you want to add into Zora's psychic conversation with Lyko? Since you'll also hear it, but also you could just come up to speeds. Anything else he's missed?
I can't think of anything else relevant.
Okay, cool.
Or interesting and irrelevant.
Okay, fair. Both equal columns.
Mhm.
Right. So we'll have the same Lyko, right? Tonight as a Helen comes out, and has like a whole handful of stuff. And you can see her maybe moving through the place looking for you. In fact, now what makes more sense, because I think if you went back up to the database places and her rooms are downstairs, maybe it's Thanida that comes back up, and you can see her in the almost as if she's heading for the exit, basically.
Yeah, I will approach her.
Yeah, just there you are.
Zenaida, thank you for agreeing to do this.
And she adjusts whatever bag or whatever she's got over her shoulder, and she goes, "That's fine. I'm happy to help." She smiles at you.
I was just speaking with the captain, and there might be something else we could use some assistance with, but it would be better discussed privately. Can I go a short walk with you a moment?
And she just smiles. She goes, "I'd love nothing more." And then she does that thing, to loop into your arm or whatever. And then
Okay.
yeah. And then you just go a wander down, I guess, some away from the HQ, I guess.
Yeah, and I'll just sort of lay out the basics of the plan. As you know, we're sort of trying to deal with this Urgulus problem. The best plan we have thus far is to use the one thing we know we can lure him, which is the egg, the vault. Specifically, he came after Zig during Zig's attempt to visit it.
You see a not shudder, but a little bit almost goosebump shiver or something. And because obviously Zig did tell her, oh yeah, you were killed, in that last attempt. And she says, yes, let's hope that wasn't prophetic, shall we?
Well, yeah. Zig is, well, it's not clear exactly where right now, but
I'm surprised you're not asking after your colleague, Shakos.
Well, I don't imagine there's any answer yet. Is there?
And she kind of looks at you and she's like, our mind is in there, Michael.
But
She gives you a funny look and goes, but?
I just sensed a but.
To my knowledge, the doctor stated that the brain pattern was intermittent, and it was unclear whether or not she remained. Their psionics weren't so attuned with drow physiology as I am. She kind of smiles humbly. As humble as Thanida gets,
I'll give her a sort of nod that's in jest, naturally.
Yeah.
I'm glad for sure.
I'm sure after know that this information I was expecting a more elated response, given your familiarity with Shakos.
She's in there. I thought she would be. But that's not exactly the end, is it? There's
No.
more that needs to be done. And, well,
She laughs and she says, she laughs, but in a kind of in an almost like she's ridiculing herself kind of way when she says the phrase, "Best to know your princess is in the fort you're about to assault," though, wouldn't you say?
Is that a reference to something?
She laughs and she goes, "Yes, my time."
Oh. Sure. No, I agree. I'm just not. What's the phrase about counting the thingies for the stuff?
Yes, counting your spiders before they hatch.
Is that it? Huh. Anyway,
I mean, for Drow it is.
I'll be pleased when this is done. For now, I appreciate your.
Yeah, and like, she smiles again warmly, and she goes, "Anything, for my friends and subjects." And she like smirks a little, at that.
I'm sure. Sure, she'll be very interested to hear about who intervened to sister.
I'm sure if nothing goes awful with our plans, she says tentatively, I'm sure you can introduce me to her.
So, I should get into specifics. Sorry, the captain is headed to Triaxis, I believe, and intends to put his plan into motion there. I know you were headed to Abalon, and it's kind of exactly the wrong way at the moment.
Just smirks at that.
But if we could arrange something to try and set the snare for this Librian, that seems to be the place to go.
If I can
This is
pause you
where-
there, does Thanida know you're trying to make a bioweapon? Is that something she knows?
I don't think I've ever
Other
specifically
people,
said it
do
to her.
we?
Yeah.
I don't remember saying specifically.
Well,
we're
feel free to
making-
decide now as a team, like, did you tell her or not? Because it's how often
I
can't-
think I mentioned about
'cause-
working with MO to develop a weapon because I'm sure
But no
because I
specifics,
think that's
yeah.
why she was so okay. Why aren't we getting rid of him?
Mhm. Yeah, I feel like there was a lot of like her saying you have the way to get the thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I told her that, and that's why she
Mhm.
responded that way.
Okay.
I would have
If-
actively tried to hide it from her, that's for sure.
If
Yeah.
we, let's work on the assumption that I have told her.
Yeah. Then like yeah, her reply will be, "Do we have the bioweapon yet?" You can see why I had to ask that question. Otherwise, she
Yeah,
couldn't
no, that's fair. Not yet, but we will soon. We
Once you have secured this weapon, contact me and I will make sure I am available.
understood. I
I
appreciate.
don't intend to
always
delay
done
the
here.
plans I require for the ventures we've undertaken.
Of course.
I won't delay them until there is a plan in the form of this weapon. But I will put the venture aside. So yeah,
I
yeah. Yeah, she's basically like, oh,
Before
I'm like
we
a
have this
businesswoman now.
weapon,
Hmm.
I mean, it wouldn't be much of a plan if we didn't have anything to actually any trap to lead him into. But this, I think, this is one area where we can trust Aspis. I'm pretty confident they'd be more than happy to develop a weapon to destroy a threat in that and that caliber. You know, he's
Well, I imagine this
He's a
threat does
concern,
also
mate.
threaten them.
exact. And he's a threat they know more about than most, I would imagine. I mean, more than they let on, I'm sure. However much was lost at Baskerville, I don't doubt that she has other sources of information. But
Given that I've already agreed to help in this matter, what do you honestly think my survival chances are?
I don't know what any of our chances are.
How much do you
If the
trust
weapon
Zig?
works. Sorry?
And she says, how much do you trust Zig?
That depends. Trust him to have my back, to look out for me, to use his power to protect me from some danger or other. Absolutely. Trust him not to make an absolutely insane decision? No, not at all.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
Like, I think this scenario just like kind of quietly nods to that, because obviously if Zig is prophetic in any way, which he kind of seems to like act like, at least, then yeah, that is quite scary for her.
He's a good kid. He is possessed of a lot of power. A lot of power for someone maybe not built for it. That sounds. It's responsibility he's gonna have to learn to handle, but he doesn't always make the choices that I think other people would make in his shoes. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but sometimes it definitely is.
I don't know if she looks
I,
like. I think she just maybe looks less reassured as this conversation continues a little.
Look, I have no doubts in the kid's. You know,
He is formidable. She says it almost as a way to almost like stabilize her own
power,
feelings. Yeah.
but I also have no doubt in his heart. He's a good kid.
I meant all aspects of him, not simply his output, shall we say.
Fair.
And you can tell like there's that like tone of fondness again creeping into her voice again. And she says, Lyko, if I die helping keep your ass alive, I will haunt you.
Eh.
And she just kind of like chuckles a bit at that, as if trying to change the subject, like as if.
There are worse
Yeah.
fates. Look, I should return. I've also agreed to do some scans with Helen. Funny name that. It always reminds me of something. But I should get.
She like looks back over her shoulder and goes, "Yeah, dreadful woman." Just says that and like
She's-
shakes her head a bit.
She doesn't. The bedside manner is not there. But she has an interest in my kind, and I'm eager to speak to any capable scientist with an
She, like-
interest in my kind.
She
so.
turns to you and she goes, "Do androids choose their colouring? Or is that..." And she doesn't know how to finish that sentence. She just leaves that hanging.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
right.
a messy subject.
Like, Lyko may or may not get this, but I'll let Lyko, obviously you decide this, Colin. Remember, Helene has like violet skin
yeah, she
plating
looks drowish,
and silver
yeah,
hair.
yeah.
Like, she looks like an android is cosplaying a droid. Yeah, 100%.
But also, like, androids are sort of like born and reborn,
Yeah.
and it's like you can just be a new android.
And I think, like,
almost.
so you kind of obviously your entire backstory is based on Avalon, but between you and Alex, what's the answer to that? Right? Like, because obviously you're the authority here on like.
I think the answer for me is it depends.
Right. Okay.
She might have just woken up one day
Mhm.
like that as a new being in that body.
Okay.
With
Alex?
a previous life attached to it, but an entirely new existence, a new sort of consciousness, right?
Like version
But
2.
equally, she may have customized her body to look like that.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say, yeah, given that there's a bunch of skin-based augmentations, it doesn't seem unreasonable that.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, right? Because that's why I asked. 'Cause I'm like,
Yeah.
obviously Thanaida has no frame of reference beyond whatever that banker knew. So she's running off. Why would she choose to look like that? Then treat me like shit, right? Is her vibe.
Okay.
Gentrification.
Right?
She. I'm just gonna say pretty much what I said there. Like, androids don't quite work like the rest of us. She might well,
I
you know
realised
how
I said
before he
this
was
with silver hair and a purple hoodie on, by the way. I know I've said this, like it's a weird topic to have now. I've looked at the webcam. But yeah, please continue.
you know how weird was Nyx 5 previously? He'd gone through,
Yes.
presumably 5 iterations
In
of
my palace,
Nyx
no less.
persona. Indeed. And some of that change happened to him within the one lifetime, and some of it he chose and some of it he didn't. She might just have begun her existence one day as a whole new person, basically, a new personality in that body. Or she might have decided to customize herself to look like that without asking her. There's really no way to know for sure.
She kind of like stares off back to like the HQ building in the distance, and she kind of just mutters, like kind of to nobody particularly, just the caterpillar doesn't choose the butterfly's wings, is what she says out loud, half to herself. She goes, huh. Dreadful woman, is all she repeats.
Yeah, she seems to be an acquired taste. But she might be able to help me out. So
And she kind of turns and goes, I hope she does help you and your colleague.
thank you.
She kind of nods, and you can tell just the fact that Thanai, obviously the implication under all of like Thanaida's comments about Shakos and you is her touching her mind means she knows the weight of your like friendship with her, right? That's what she's obviously picked up from Shakos.
Okay.
So there is obviously that fondness that she's picked up on.
Yeah.
Because you obviously worked together for so bloody long. So yeah. So she is aware
Yeah,
of that.
and Shakos was quite flirty with him sometimes.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like
Whether that was just to make him
and you also
uncomfortable.
went like
not clear.
you also rescued her through like a destroying space, like a blowing
I,
up space station and stuff.
yeah,
Yeah,
we did. We did.
Yeah.
Like was a good.
and also
Um,
rescued her from the Kivalari. So
I mean, really big damn hero is what I'm getting.
yeah.
But yes, I was sort of like make my goodbyes. Well,
Yeah.
as I say, I do appreciate this. I'm gonna double back now, go and get stuck in some machines myself, no doubt.
She kind of smirks at that, and she goes, "Good luck, and let me know
Thank
when
you.
it's all falling apart. I'll be there." And she walks off.
Okay. And then I double back and do exactly what I said.
Feels like good words to part on, right? That feels very Thanaida. Especially at this stage. Team player Thanaida is way better than angry I was a queen Thanaida. Yeah.
She was
Meanwhile,
the dancing queen.
yes. Meanwhile, on the mean streets of Daza, Weird, did you also go with the captain?
Yeah, don't know who else I'd have gone with. Yeah,
because you have packed everything into your shuttle, ready to zoom back up to the ship when you're ready. You just wander through Daza, I assume. Right. How would you like to approach this situation? What would you like to
I'm going to grab people by the neck and tell me what. I'm just joking. See.
And remember, you're probably going to be fully encased in your suits for the rad protection, right? So, he's going to let me know what you would like to do. So, we're wandering around Daza. Anybody in particular? Obviously, I know you joked about Sparks, but like, is there anything in particular you're looking for? Or
I mean,
Mr. Noodle Shop.
I had a noodle shop, yeah? You can head to a noodle shop. I got a screen for that.
Yeah, because partly based on the fact that I don't know who else is left in Daza that I haven't already kidnapped.
Give me a second. Turn off dynamic lighting. Ta-da! I love this piece of art. It's so good. So
Yeah, it's very nice cyberpunk.
yeah,
I mean, palette especially is like its peak. Pretty peak by cyberpunk.
the greens and the pinks really do tick that box perfectly. Yeah. Right. Yeah, you head to one of the many noodle stands. What be the plan?
Still the show bad.
Probably.
Sure, but
It's all show bad to go. We know this. What was that, Alex? You were saying something, sorry?
A weird will stand awkwardly.
'Kay.
Asking for noodles and Showbad. Letting the captain do the actual diplomacy.
You think that's my highest stat?
I think it was like, was it 15 or 20 credits or something? I guess. I think it was like 15 or something, I think I said. Or sorry, it might even just be 10 credits for like some noodles. I don't remember the prices. Let's just assume it's 10 credits for your noodles that you probably shouldn't eat here, as we know.
Probably just shouldn't eat, right?
Yeah, you shouldn't open your spacesuit here. We learned that from Zig's mistake. Oh dear. And Thanaida. Full stop. Yeah. So yeah, what does Cap do?
So as I'm grabbing him, I'll be like, a boost plate. So what's this? All this about the reactor getting broken into?
You grab the show bed?
No, when I'm taking the noodles off him. Like,
Oh, alright, okay.
I'm taking some of the noodles off him.
Okay. And he just looks at you. And then just barks something in Shobad. For what do you call it? Weird, because you speak Shobad. And I don't think Zora does.
No.
Yeah, like he barks something in Shobad, obviously, anyway, very like abruptly. And he just says, "Damn out of towners," thinking they can ask anything. Is all he says for Weird's translation.
Something the matter?
You asking him that in Shobad? Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
And he's make sure he's not like in any way like grabbed by Zora or whatever, and then he looks at you and he says, "Your friend here is a bit pushy for somebody that's not from here."
You know the Vesk.
I don't.
This one's
I try
actually-
not to.
Well, this one's a diplomat. Earrings, they're soft.
He laughs, and it's like some like a Tuscan Raider style like yell. Yeah. It's just that level of like abrupt laugh. And then he looks at you, and then he just shakes his head, and he goes, "They have those?"
Had. I think he's retired now.
Kind of like side
Did I say
eyes
something
Zora.
funny?
Yeah, and this guy just looks at you like some of his hands on his hips, and then he looks, obviously assuming a Weird will answer that question.
So, what was that question? So,
Zora said something. I said funny.
Yes, I did.
it's more your mannerisms, Captain.
I thought I was being polite.
Perhaps a softer approach.
What did I grab him by the neck?
Zora's like, necks are softer.
Is that how diplomacy's done in the past?
I think that's how Thanaida does diplomacy, yeah. It's her phrase to slow him down. I cut his throat.
Noodles, Captain.
I would have bought some noodles.
No, I think he did. No, he did.
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
just he just
okay.
immediately led him with an interrogation. That was all.
Yeah. I thought I was being polite by buying the noodles and then asking.
Yep.
Perhaps a tip, Captain.
I'll give him 100 credit tip.
Okay, yeah, and he mutters something again in Shobad, and it's well, that's a start, is what it translates to for Weird.
Yep.
And I kind
You
of
were
look up.
looking to get some answers to some questions that
Yeah. Nods.
my captain had.
Looks between the two of you, and he goes, just like big breath, and then he shouts something to like one of his other staff members, and then he like steps back from like his big, like noodle pot, and then he like shuffles out the side. And obviously he's a big guy, right? Like Shobad are large scale creatures, and and I like shuffles round, and like can like pulls you into like the storage like container, next to the noodle stand. It's like refrigerated for anyone that cares about like mild cold, and
I hate it.
you can see each other's breath and whatnot, and there's just various things hanging up on hooks and various like stacks of frozen noodles, and then he just looks at you both and says, "Why the interest?" And obviously this isn't show bad, so obviously the audience will get subtitles. So if Zora has the the streaming service, you can read the subtitles.
Just say it's our business to know these things.
Is this
It's
a
a
look?
very, very like fucking mafia movie. Let's just say it's a business to know these things, Jerry.
Yeah, and then like he adjusts to like his apron with one of his hands, scratches his leg with his other, and then he's like, "How lucrative is this business? 100 credits doesn't seem like he's doing too well."
I'll give him an 1,000.
I'm assuming that Weird you will translate this for
Yeah.
yeah, just so that we're keeping Nico in the loop below.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
But I want to hear Weird say what he says too. I want to know the translation.
I just turn to the captain and say, "You'd like some more payment, Captain?"
Ocular red roll
This
on him 1,000.
Yep.
And I would tap him 1,000.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
You know,
yeah. Currency exchange is complete. Yes.
Yeah.
And
I just say, "I apologize. Don't know what the appropriate rate is here on Axon."
Your accent would say otherwise. Which must be the weirdest phrase Weird has ever heard.
Your accent sent.
Your accent.
I will take that as a compliment to my training.
He doesn't respond to that. He kind of just obviously makes sure his account has more money in it now, and puts that back in his pocket, his comm device, and then he says, "What do you want to know?" I won't know. I don't know much, but he
I turn to
shrugs.
the captain. What do you want to know?
Any mention of what types of individuals tried to break in?
The breaking at the reactor. Is there any news on any word on who may have been involved?
He puts like his hands up almost defensively, and he says, "Oh, whoa! I never heard nothing. I only overheard what the customers were saying." It's like
That's
immediate
okay.
like change on his like, but he's quite defensive now.
Mhm.
Yeah. And what did Weird say?
I said that's ideal.
And he says, and he's like nervously looking at Zora, and then looking at you, and looking at Zora. And keep in mind, this is like a guy bigger than Zora, significantly bigger than Zora physically. And he's like, he looks to you Weird and says, "Because you probably are very close to Shobad dimensions."
Yes.
Yep. And then says, "Ask your friend to stand outside for a second."
Captain.
This is all for confirming who I think it is, but okay. I would nod. Can I do a wee sense motive before I leave?
100%. 100% you
Cool.
can.
Right.
It'd be good if you rolled this session, yes.
We don't roll in this game.
We did
I
like,
wonder if I actually have sense motive. I said this with such confidence, but I don't know if I've got good sense motive. I've got alright sense motive.
plus it depends how much like the people are trying to hide what they're doing right as well, because that lets me know the difficulty of it.
Let me see if sense motive is within the diplomacy sidereal thing. It is. I can do
Cool.
it. Yeah, cool. Right. So
Cool.
I'll click this.
Do you want to do your sidereal?
Yes. Slash. And D6.
Let me consult the cosmos briefly. Nice.
Uh,
So 35. It's alright. Alright, yeah. And what are you trying to gain a sense of?
Is he worried about talking about it because I'm Vesk?
You are definitely the reason he is worried to share information. Yes, but that's maybe the most you could get from a sense motive,
Okay.
right? But
Okay.
you are definitely the reason.
Okay. I would give him a two-fingered salute. I'll wait outside then.
Thank you, Captain.
And then, like when the container door like shuts over, he kind of turns around. You can just see the big long sigh of relief with all the breath, like obviously from the cold. And he says, "It was them lizards." Just immediately turns to you and says that, and that's what everybody's saying.
It was my fault.
It was the lizard.
I didn't expect that.
He's kind of nods and he goes, "It's weird though, because nobody's telling a different story." And he gives you like a look as if, well, you know enough about like Akaton's rumor mill anyway. You know, everybody would try and claim credit so they get a bit of a reputation, you know, across Akaton's wastes. So, yeah, even if it's like, because there's not much in the way of law enforcement here, the idea of claiming credit for crimes you didn't commit is definitely common on Akaton. Everybody's trying to be a grinning Durwa, you know. So
Ed.
yeah, as we mentioned earlier. So yeah. Well, technically, he lives on in Lyco, so
Well, when you say lives on.
yeah.
He is inside of you like a.
Stop. I was going to say stop making it weird. However, but yeah, does weird do anything or say anything back to the middleman?
Why is nobody claiming otherwise?
It's kind of like, well, they seem to be everywhere but Akaton, right?
What do you mean? But the lizards?
Yeah. Get rumours and stories of them being everywhere. Ever since the station blew up. Can't move for them. He shrugs and he's like, "Not here though. Sand not good enough for them?"
Actually.
But yeah, like that's obviously his thinking because obviously he sees you as lizards, right? He's like, why are they not on Akaton? It's not like MD
We're
could do
trying to keep
anything.
Akaton nice. That's what it is, man. We're just trying
Is
to keep
that
it
your
nice
slogan?
and ripe.
Akaton
Nice and ripe for the taking. For what? Vacation home.
Yeah, I was gonna say your vacation home, But yeah, you can tell this guy's almost a wee bit insulted at the idea that it's like, what's wrong with Akaton? Why aren't they here? Which is maybe why, like, you're kind of like weird. You're maybe putting together like why he thinks it's weird that everybody's saying it's the Vesk, right? Like the fact that everybody seems to be saying that, it's like they're being blamed for it, rather than people going, "Oh, I did that. Look how good I am. I can get right into the reactor room," you know. Because anybody that's able to get by like Daza security, like for that, because as I say, it's one of the most protected places in Daza. It's pretty impressive. Because Daza is pretty much like the capital of Akaton, right? If it had a capital, it's essentially it's equivalent of the people's capital that way. So yeah, like it's a big deal. If you could control the reactor, you'd control Daza, full stop. But it's like they just did it for the bragging rights, which is why it's weird that it's not like some random like new gang or something that are trying to make a name for themselves that have just got lucky. All the stuff that like Weird would be used to, because obviously Weird grew up in Akaton, so or X did at least.
Yes.
So yeah, like that is strange. And this guy doesn't get it. And if it was the lizards, why aren't they claiming credit and why aren't they here? Like, why are they in orbit everywhere else in the system? So yeah, he seems a bit put out by this. Maybe a bit skeptical. Like maybe he's a bit skeptical. Hence why I was a bit like reserved about saying it as well, because it's like I don't want to accuse the lizard of being the person, but at the same time, What's wrong with my planet? Why don't you want to steal my stuff? Yeah, it's a weird place to be for this guy. So yeah, anything weird asks.
Yes. What happened to the reactor? Did they not?
He kind of leans in and goes, "That's the thing. Nothing." And just kind of shakes his head. Seems they got past I don't know, whatever the actual terminology would be for like, reactor shielding or like the layers of the reactor itself and like the actual like, where it's an egg, but that's not exactly common knowledge what powers the reactor. But the reactor core would be the equivalent of the egg for your knowledge.
Yep.
And it's like seems they got all the way to the core shielding and then just stopped. Why? Hence, and he's like, you'd think it'd be somebody trying to claim. And he shrugs that off as well. Because that would be bragging rights, right? And he goes, somebody got that far? Don't see why they wouldn't go further, though.
Depends whether they knew what to do with the rest of it.
He kind of like nods as if, yeah, it seems fair, that's fair. But then why bother? Like, it's kind of his, like, I think that's his reply actually, is just, then why bother? Also, like, greasily on his shirt or something, probably has like his name stitched on it. I think I'm just gonna call this guy Louis. He feels like a Louis.
I'd just say, well, maybe they weren't sure what they were dealing with until they saw it. It's not exactly blueprints for it sitting around.
He kind of just like shrugs at that because he doesn't know. And then he says, why so interested? He kind of looks kind of at the door as if hinting at like, why are you and Avesk so interested?
I thought I might have a go.
He laughs. He goes, well, somebody's paved the way.
Yes, but clearly not all the way.
And he kind of nervously like chuckles, like to finish that kind of we're joking, right? But are you? Type notion, and then he says,
eye contact.
Yeah, completely. Like obviously, that's probably why he's awkward about it because of how flat effect you are. And then he says, yeah, just give me like a heads up, I'll visit Hive Market for the day. If that's the case. I'll
let you know.
Well, I have customers to serve now. And like shuffles past you because I imagine it's very squashed with two of you being large size.
Yep.
Like very squashed in this container. You just hear like the metal clunking of the floor, the corrugated floor, and then he just like opens it up.
When I notice he's struggling to come out, I'll just phase through the wall.
Yeah.
To the other side.
So yeah, Zora, like the door opens. A slightly paler looking Shobad man comes out after like your colleague has phased through the fucking container wall. So yeah, and he kind of just half waves one of his hands at you too, and then goes back to his noodle stand. He just barks something at his employees and then gets back to work.
Okay.
Yeah.
A pleasure as always.
You said it to the captain, or you said it to Louis?
Louis.
Yeah, and like I said, he does that half wave thing as he wanders off. He goes out of the camera shot, Alex. That's where he does.
Yep.
So it's just you and the captain now.
Okay. Let's see. Anything? Sorry. I'll just do the assumption. Was it a Vesk?
Yes.
Maybe I shouldn't have told Matt about it.
Why didn't they go any deeper?
A bit off more than they could chew. I mean, it's not the first time a Vesk has ran head first into something they think they could do and couldn't.
Harsh cut the montage of you smashing through the Baskerville station doors.
Hard cut the montage of you leaving an elevator We're trying to.
Covered in flame
Harsh.
retardant foam and burns.
Sorry.
Nice
But
vest,
yeah, it
foamy
would-
beard. Yeah.
It wouldn't be the first time Vest Kubris got in the way of something.
Don't be too hard on yourself, Captain.
Ha. Ha. Anything else, though? Did they say anything else of worth?
Whatever reasons they had for going in, they didn't turn the thing off.
Okay.
Which I don't understand.
Again, perhaps they couldn't. It's got to be a pretty powerful radiation field.
Yes, that's why I just bought this rad armor. You want to go and have a look?
A closer look wouldn't be that bad. Yeah, I would nod. Let's go have a look. It's probably a terrible idea. I'm probably going to get ganked here. But
Definitely. Well, that, but either way, definitely a bad idea. There's no way that guy didn't like go. Oh, he's actually facing true threat. Maybe through shit. Maybe he really is going to try and get in.
Yeah, it's literally. Why would that
Next
stop
guy that
them?
hands him a few hundred credits, space gold or whatever.
Yeah.
How much could a bribe cost? $10?
Yep.
Can offer you $10.
apparently 1,110.
your tune.
So yeah,
What do
would
you
you,
say to my old friend Harry Truman? Or
So,
what's in a
anyway,
$10 bill? I
where are
don't
you
know.
going?
Sorry.
Where are you going, you two?
Go have a closer look at reactor, please.
Can I go back to the shuttle, grab your new gear, suit up, and then head in? By new
Mhm.
gear, I mean that one reactor suit thing that he bought so he could do this.
Yeah,
What's your
I'm
plan?
not going in.
Okay.
I'm not going in. I'm going to look from afar outside and see if I get ganked by a million cops.
Hamilton and the $10.
Right, okay. Right, so what does your new equipment do for you?
Up.
And ideally run this plan past me as a team, please.
Would a creature from the void be affected by radiation?
I am on board with this plan. I love it.
Well, look at it, stat block. It has a stat
No.
block.
It wouldn't be unaffected by radiation. I'm pretty sure it
I'm
wouldn't.
pretty sure radiation would still affect it as normal. I don't think it has
Yeah.
that immunity, but it might have something. So feel free to look at the stat block.
Yeah,
'Cause
I'm actually going to have a view because I actually think it has mad immunities. To be honest, with
it
you.
probably
I think it's
does, yeah.
Like,
Because I think it comes with that, like you get those standard, all assumed immunities for this type of creature, and that's the thing in Starfinder. So it'll have like its own package deal, right? And any joy weird?
what a question to ask. Though. There's a
Trying to
creature
think.
from the void.
The armory.
No, it's
for
cold,
this-
electricity, and poison.
Okay, it was just for the context as well.
Wait,
Would a
wait.
creature for the
Is
void?
radiation not a poison?
Probably it is.
Because we had to look to the
But-
poison
but-
rules.
But
I don't think it's a
poison.
poison, but it follows poison rules
Yeah.
for constitution effects.
Yeah.
It's a poison effect without it being a poison source, if that makes sense.
Okay, right, then it doesn't.
Uses enough poise, son.
This heavy awkward armor is
It's
built with the highest
cool.
levels of radiation shielding and anti-radiation materials known in the pack worlds. You and the armor are both immune to radiation, even when your environmental protections are not active and you can't contract radiation sickness while wearing the armor. I am immune to radiation.
Nice. So I've got a bulkier version of you now. So I've got an image of you in this suit.
Yep.
It looks like this now.
I like turtles.
Oh dear. Yep.
I just, again, like, why not? Like, this is where we're at now, right? Like,
I didn't want to I didn't want to disrespect the radiation too much, so I also now have a rad cannon attached to it.
well, actually,
Like,
this
think
weirdly,
about
this
just
piece of
recycling
Lego
it.
seems more like accurate to what you might look like now.
Yes.
Like,
Perfect.
right? It's pretty good, I think. And it is called a four-legged engineering mech, so yeah, not bad. Lego's got your back. There you go, sorted. Oh dear. Right,
Get
so
away from her, you.
Yeah.
Sorry.
it's okay. That's exactly what I was thinking as well. Yep.
Yeah, it's just
Yep.
the colours. Sorry.
Yep, and the grabby hands as well, the manipulators. So, what's the plan? Run me through the plan.
This guy.
Zora and Weird. Talk me through the stages of the plan, the goal of the plan.
You think we have a plan?
Yes, it's why I'm
Cute, man.
pointing this
Well, I plan on standing outside from afar and getting all the information relayed back to me. perhaps I'll maybe give him a warning if I see things going bad on the outside.
That sounded like an explosion. Weird. Is everything okay in there?
Weird, there's currently about 20 police officers closing in your position. Best get out. Over.
I think. So
I
keep
know
in
there's no
mind.
police in Hackathon.
I was gonna say yeah. Keep in mind you're probably safe from police. Yeah, probably.
Some sort of Hackatonian gang.
Remember,
Boss.
there probably is some random like officer and his partner like assigned to this though, because if Lyko has a case that he could look up, somebody will have been assigned to it.
Oh, there's going to be a sheriff, right? It's a desert. It's going to be that stereotypical, right?
Not quite sure that's how it works.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's no like, as I said, Akron has no permanent steward presence, but the fact that it's been like officially filed because of how important Daza's reactor is to Daza and Akaton full stop, like, because remember there's big like cabling and stuff that runs way into the desert from Daza, so yeah, there's
You need to have like deserts and pine trees to have sheriffs.
Yeah, this is the law.
Okay, right, fair enough, yeah.
So
Sorry.
yeah, you'll have there is probably like there'll be like a personal transport or something from the stewards that'll have like assigned them out here and it's basically dumped them. It's like, right, you've got like a week, take the reports, ask the questions, do the investigation, submit the report, return to base. That'll be it, right? So there's probably at most there's likely 2 stewards on in Daza at the moment, but they're probably not in steward clothing.
Them undercover types. Okay.
It's probably just safer. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think stewards would be like too much in Hackathon, to be honest.
No.
Get in the way of the lawlessness.
Yeah, so for the most part, Daza's, for the most part, surface legal. Yeah. Now that front room of Bob's is all above board.
Absolutely. So you get downstairs.
Yes. But okay, so none of this is your plan though. So Zora wants to wait outside at a reasonable distance, whatever that distance is, and then
right at the front door.
Keep edgy.
It's the best quite. Aye. Edgy, real edgy.
My favourite thing is the idea that you've got the rumour that the Vesk have done this, and you're going to send a Vesk to investigate.
That's why I'm not wanting to get too close. But I probably won't actually be near the front door. Like,
get yourself
like
a Megatron style cloak for this. Also, good night, Siren.
No, it's fine.
Good night.
Good night.
Sleepeth well.
But yeah, I don't actually plan on like being within proper visible range.
Yeah. Okay.
I would like to walk up to the reactor
Okay.
in my radiation protection.
Okay.
It's are there guards around? Do they guard this thing?
Okay, so we'll deal with that once we get to the site. I just need to hear the
Okay.
plan.
Plan. I was gonna walk in.
Remember, like if you remember you're now in a new suit, you don't have your like phasing applied to this suit.
Oh, okay, then I will take time to apply my phasing.
Okay. Okay.
Or take
How-
my 8 hours to apply that.
Okay. So your plan is 8 hours later, right? Okay. That's
Yes.
fine. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Well, he's doing that. I'll probably just swap all my mods for my stuff out of this one
Okay,
as well,
yep,
you know.
I like that. This is the 8 hours of the Iron Man montage for a bit.
Yeah.
He's like, what's the plan? Well, we'll find out at the end of this. Like, we'll just do this. And see what happens.
And
Okay.
then my plan is to turn up and offer my expertise as a contractor for the stewards.
Yeah.
And expert radiation investigator.
You do
Wow.
realize, right? I know you're probably not going to care. But you do realize you could just psychically message Lyko to type that request up legally.
That would be thinking, wouldn't it? That would
Like, I just
actually
feel
be
like
intelligent.
Weird would know this, right? Because
Yes.
Lyko is a steward currently.
Mhm.
I forgot about that.
I just want to make sure that you're fully like. I like the nonsense idea plan, but also this is a plan I feel like is likely.
Also add in that you'll have a Vesk representative to investigate the Vesk rebels that infiltrated the reactor.
So you're wanting to confirm from a Vesk representative that Vesk were involved, right? 'Cause
possible Vesk rebel influence.
Investigate accusations.
Yes,
so
yes.
you're an
yes.
investigator,
Yes, I'm an
Yes.
investigator. Yes.
right? Okay, alright? So during that 8 hours, I assume one of you's contact Lyko.
Yes. Yes.
To send an
Then-
email.
What is requested of me?
Potion sir. I am looking for your finest assortment of potions. About Lyko and Brinsby.
Captain.
So I've got reason to believe the stewards might be not so much guarding but investigating the reactor. I don't suppose you could put in like a little request / report for us to be able to investigate the situation officially.
Oh, okay. I'm not sure exactly how smooth that's going to be. I kind of got some stuff. Tell you what, once this is all wrapped up, and that gives us both narrative time, I will see what I can do about submitting a request for information and see if I can deputize you and or Weird to perhaps see the scene or something in my behalf. I mean,
For
what
Colin's
exactly
benefit
will-
here as well, you could easily just say these are outside consultants that the stewards
Yeah.
have brought in for whatever reason. Yeah, and remember your authority level within the stewards would probably vastly outrank the two assigned to that
Yeah.
planet.
higher than it once was, certainly.
Best add in the point that you'll the representative will be accompanied by a Vesk representative, because apparently it was the Vesk that broke in.
A representative.
Have you checked with any of your Vesk contacts, or is that something you want to keep close to your chest?
I think it was Mava personally, but not yet. Don't want to give away too much information yet.
Okay. I'll do it, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. But yeah, we'll see.
Creak of the neck.
So Weird, I assume you want to like at least make sure Lyko is going to sign you as some kind of whatever you said consultant for, like engineering consultant or something. Was that the angle you're going with?
I said radiation investigator.
Yeah. Okay. You mean
Um,
a rad investigator
Totally radical, man.
Yeah.
from the Geiger Institute? Yeah.
I'm sure there's a better way of framing it.
There
but
probably is, but yeah, some kind of radiation specialist.
Mm-hmm.
non-proliferation.
Yeah, an
agent.
outside consultant with
Mhm.
specialization in radiation.
And a
something. I
Vesk.
don't know.
Here to stick around for other Vesk. Yeah.
Yeah.
So why don't you get that request at least, Lyko?
Yeah, and
Then-
I'll pretty much request exactly that.
Yeah. Who are you requesting that with? Like, you could just put in like, a generic, report and just take the authority yourself, or you could obviously run it up the chain and ask for like somebody else's approval. It basically means, do you want your name to be the last name questions go to, or do you want it to go to somebody else instead?
Should I run it up to Babak, or should I just sort of take ownership of it?
And that isn't, like, from as far as I'm concerned, that's entirely up to Lyko, but I want to make sure Colin knows that you could take authority and approve all this yourself, but it means if anything happens, it's your name that's attached to it, rather than a superior.
Bear in mind, it's me and we're doing investigating, so it's probably going to be probably nothing good's going to come out of it if it falls on you.
Yeah.
But it's entirely, as I said, it doesn't mean to say that it all will fall apart. It's just so like Lyko can make an informed decision here.
It does make sense to take the decision myself.
I have been known to blow up some doors, and Weird has been known to just blow up things.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Offensive.
Truth is.
Yeah, I'll put it in myself rather than sort of running up to Babak.
Okay, yeah.
And I will respond saying I've put in a request. This is all going in under my name, so please try not to cause any major problems for me.
No promises, but I'll do my best.
Thank you, Kev.
It's the best I can do.
Yeah, just be careful. It's obviously a sensitive area.
And remember, I assume you want this to look accurate, Lyko.
Sure.
Cool. Because you will have to pay them if it's accurate. If they're consultants.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It obviously won't be your money. It'll be the steward budget.
Yes.
So,
yes.
yes.
1.5 million.
So yeah, how much is their expertise worth? You're technically only paying the radiation consultant, as far as I'm aware, because like you've authorized
I'll be on the Vesk payroll still, right? Like,
yeah. You're just authorizing the presence of the Vesk within the steward's investigation.
Yeah. How much?
What's like what would be like a consultancy fee in universe for like a generic like expert? Like that's what would that be? I need to work that out.
For a real consultant, it's like I was about to say that. Like a real consultant, you're talking like for like a job, like a construction site job. You're talking like $1,000 man just for them to come and like have a quick look. Like so,
yeah, but most of it goes to the company.
Yeah. So like just
having just started a new job as the consultant as the title.
It's just like times that by like 10 or something because it's credits we're talking about, right? And you're probably sorted. Like, look at us putting like real world logic into fucking stuff.
It's our basis, right, for this.
Oh, yeah.
Like it makes sense to me. Let's see. Interesting. I quickly have a quick scan at this and look for what does that. Yeah, I'm happy if you want to just put it down for 10,000. I think that's like
10,000.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. Weird. Do you want to do a computer roll to throw together a shell company so that exists?
Absolutely.
This is just to try and keep it like if anybody did like a lance at the fellas. Oh, nice. Just a 38 is still good though.
That's a fucking that one. What the fuck?
I like to think that all I do is copy and paste one that I've already used before.
Yeah, especially because you're doing it quick and you want to focus on getting your armor ready, right? As well, because your main focus
is the AI to do
it. Yep, that makes sense.
Create a shell company.
Hi, Tony
Shell
Stark
Inc.
would do this. Yeah.
It's a Shell Inc.
Yep, it's good.
Business. Shell importers.
It's good. I like it. From the beaches of Versus. Yeah. So yeah, like that's it. You've submitted all this. So Lyko, you're paying Shell Inc. for their radiation consultancy fees.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep, that's fine. Yep. And then you get 10k. Again, the reason why we're doing all this nonsense is just because if some other like random steward was to run like an audit, as long as it wasn't like a really detailed one, like this would pass like a a skim, you know. But if somebody sat and looked into it, yeah. Also, this is a bad question to ask, but where's Cece? Do we know?
I have long since lost him.
Yeah.
He was supposed to get back to me, and then he didn't, and then he was back with us, and then I don't know.
Oh no, he's on the ship.
Yeah,
He's on the ship.
So he's still on the ship.
Final
Yeah,
area?
yeah.
Okay,
Well, that's
cool.
probably
Yeah.
alright.
So that was the last time we seen him, right? Because he was having the drink when me
Yeah.
and Weird were having a what the fuck is
Yeah,
life?
That's
right
true.
now.
Good. I was just trying to make sure like he wasn't off somewhere doing something I'm supposed to remember. Because
Yeah, I
anytime
don't
we deal
think we
with
took
this,
him with us.
yeah,
I
that's
don't
okay.
think we took him with us.
Just because this would probably be right up his alley, right? The only problem is it would be so unbelievably detailed it would raise questions. Like how have we never noticed this company that have apparently been trading with us all this time? But yeah, okay, cool. That's all in place. Good. I like it. And your plans to approach the Dazzle Reactor staff, get access to snoop around, and then at some point Zora's going to have to acknowledge that you're going to be snooping around, like, officially. And then Weird's going to start phasing through some reactor shielding.
Yes.
And there's no more plan than that. As far as I'm aware, right?
Nope, that sounds about right. Yep.
And what are you looking
Kind
to gain from this plan? What is the ideal walk away with the plan?
I would like to know what nonsense the Vesk, whether it was the Vesk, may have been doing here. And I will also want to consider the possibility of us stealing said egg
Okay.
when it is required.
So have you tipped out the null space chamber in the shuttle? Is
Yeah. I'll,
just so you've got somewhere to put it, I assume.
Yep. That
Okay.
sounds like a sensible thing to do.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, this is a direction, right? I can see this. Okay. It doesn't just go and hope. Right.
Not entirely.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, the last thing I want to do then is you've done the work you need to do, right? Do you want to just give me an engineering check for the sake of it weird? Like it's gonna be reasonable, right? Same for you, Zora. Do you want to also give me that?
Engineering. He wants engineering. Oh my god, this is awful. Blah, blah, blah. Right, 0.
Oh. I'm gonna assume that you ask Weird for some help getting all your like equipment sorted.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Some moments later, yep. You get your
Just me trying to like attach like a Geiger Miller counter to my arm or something. And I'm like, how's this what?
wrapping tape round it. Yeah. See, the problem here is with the tape, you can't read the readout. Damn.
So how do these work? Right. I need the screen.
Yeah, and then like he's suit up. He's head towards the reactor, right? He's get to like obviously this slightly more fortified area of Daza, the central part, and he's asked for ID at like the the main entrances into the.
I flip my badge.
I'll flip my I work for Demagesh badge.
Okay. And I'm assuming he's also show that paperwork Lyco got use. Yeah. Yep. So you bring that up, and the person at the as I said in their full on kind of like skin radiation shielded suit and such. I guess the foreman would be the term, right? I guess like the foreman looks over the work and goes, "Huh, more questions. Thought you'd got everything earlier."
That was the preliminary.
Yeah, so I see. You're like specialist, huh? And he looks up at you. No reply. No.
Well, with this many civilians around,
You need to let me know your rates. I might need because use you in the future. He kind of like half tries to make a joke.
I tap whatever mute button there is to send across an e-business card.
Okay, yeah, from Shell Inc.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like you can see like where the the clip art and stuff like has that extra white line at the edge or whatever. Your AI's just thrown it together. He thinks it's meant to add like an extra effect, when you move it.
Yep.
Thank you. Try not to take too long though, or get in the way of the repair crews if you can help it. I know you've got a job to do, but so do we. As you mentioned, civilian lives.
Of course.
And like it like buzzes you in through like the kind of one gate opens. It's very like vibes of like a prison. The way the place is set up, it's very fortified, as I said.
I hope so.
And you
don't want to just let anyone in.
No, they definitely wouldn't want to just let anyone in. Stares at the camera.
Well, they have the credentials.
They 100% do. It's why I'm like, why not ask the guy that could literally get you them? So yeah. This is the part when like all the kind of red flag system tracking software like all starts to spread out towards all the people that know Lyco is like, yeah. But anyway, you head inside. Yeah, like obviously you're accompanied by this foreman guy as you wander around, so he's got a bit of a guide. Anything you ask him on like the walk and talk, as it were.
Hmm. So how do you presume that the culprits got inside?
And he says, yeah, as we mentioned to your steward friends earlier, and then they like, he hesitates with the word friend a little bit, he did say that, and then he says, gate wasn't damaged. Can't see any sign of how they got past the outer fence.
Okay.
And you can tell that he feels like he's answered that question. Like he just stops there, like as he's walking. So, like he feels like that covered everything. He's like almost shaking his head.
Well, if there was no breach, how was there evidence of a break-in?
And then, like as you perfectly time that sentence, you turn the corner and there's like a massive, like heavy plated door, half folded over, and you've got like a bunch of engineers like trying to like cut through it to replace it. He goes, that.
That would do it. Folded over, as in it was like blasted open or whatever. Or,
so
like,
see if you imagine like a heavy like metal blast door, right? Like just that comes from like left to right or whatever. It's halfway along its runners, and it looks like someone's taken the corner of it and bent it back.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would.
You know that you would struggle.
Exactly the same thing.
You know you'd struggle to do that.
Okay.
Like you could do it if you had time, but if you did it, you might trash your suit with how much force you'd have to apply. Do you get what I mean? Like it's, this is a lot.
Perhaps that's what happened. Perhaps that's how they didn't finish the job. Perhaps.
It could be, yeah. It could be.
But
like a vest could manage it, because obviously there are bulkier vests than you out there. But yeah, it would take a bit. It would take effort.
I would have a wee closer look, see if there's any like markings, like a vest hand-sized marking, for instance.
You want to do some kind of investigate roll?
Oh, there's no such thing. I don't know. Perception. That's about the only thing.
Probably it. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Get we click. 26. That's awful. Awful roll.
Yeah. There's nothing that screams a Vesk did this. Nothing like you're looking at it and going like, there's no obvious markings or anything, or like as you say, like markings where you would see where like Vesk kind of claws would have started to dig into the metal versus the hand, etc. Yeah, there's nothing like that you can see. Which either means if it was Vesk that did this, if that's what Zora thinks, they were clearly in some kind of like, suit.
Or armor or something maybe.
Mm-hmm. That might have facilitated this, because there's no obvious signs that just a Vesk came up and did this. I think Zara would know well enough that like there probably are like Vesk that could stand the radiation at this level where you are now because of how much shielding's next to you.
I think there's actually like a proper character ops thing that lets you be immune to radiation just naturally. So yeah, I think
so like you know that like a Vesk, like, you're biologically capable of that, but not all Vesk are.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like there's nothing to rule them out yet, but there's nothing to say they definitely did it. Yeah.
Okay.
What about weird? Anything weird asks on the way?
It doesn't seem a particularly high-tech attack.
He says, yeah, except for how they got past the main gate. And shrugs.
What do you mean?
Well, how'd they get in? Like, gestures like the very brute force looking like door. Like, why this here? And then nothing at the the gate or the fence.
Is the gate see-through? As in, it's
No, like
see through the gate as a
no.
solid chunk of metal.
No,
so
like, and the fence itself is like, it's not a fence as we'd understand it, it's just the term he uses for it. It's like a big fortified wall.
Okay. So I was thinking wormholes, but I mean...
Yeah.
But then again, Martha seems to be able to control those fucking wormholes pretty damn well, man.
Like, I think for Zora's, that would definitely check out for you, right? Like, the idea, and even for like weird understanding of how technomancers work and Zig full stop, like teleporting in isn't like unlikely, but it would be risky as fuck to blind jump in. You don't know anybody that would blind jump in, and the Vest probably can't blind jump with wormholes, right? Based on what was obviously Zora knows from that. But Zig Zig is crazy enough to have tried this, right? So,
okay.
But magic this close to a massive source of like radiation, not a great mix. So you probably wouldn't want to do that, which would make you believe somebody probably didn't teleport in. How else did they get past that outer wall?
Okay.
Yeah, it's not ruling it out entirely. It would just be like an insanely risky option to take for whatever reason.
And I assume there's your surveillance equipment doesn't work in this environment.
What's surveillance equipment?
Yes, that's what I thought.
It's like, it's Daza. He just looks at you.
This is a pretty impressive piece of tech. I mean, I didn't think cameras would have been too far out of reach.
Maybe you can get your desk buddies to buy some for us then.
I'll look into it.
He just says like, no doubt, and goes back to looking at the engineers working, and he says, right, anyway, and like starts walking down like the other way past the non-trash door, and he's head a bit deeper in, but at no point are you being left alone. So that's the thing. He is like stuck to you guys essentially as you travel.
I don't know if I should ask the obvious question of why do people think it was the Vesk that did it, but I mean, I guess I should. So, judging by the evidence so far that I've seen, doesn't look like any Vesk operatives would have done this. So why are the people assuming so?
And yeah, and like he goes to say something, and that where somebody's almost got the wind taken at them conversationally. He goes to say something, and he stops, and he looks over at Weird, and he looks back at you, and he's like, over this way, and he talks to like Weird, but like, over this way you can tell there's like a bunch of readouts for like the radiation levels per zone in Daza, and how that marries up with like the reactor output, etc., etc. So he's like anybody that was paying attention could tell he's trying to make Weird be busy, right? He's trying to get Weird's attention on this readout, and then
Go and have a look.
Yeah, and then like as that happens, he kind of comes back to you, Zora, and he says, "We did all the arrangements you said. Is there more we need to do?" And he just gives you this like really conspiratorial look, and that's where we end the session.
Okay. Okay.
What was that, Alex?
It's always the people element that lets down a security system.
Always, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I hope you enjoyed that session back. What the fuck? Most of it was like, how do we do this game again? How we do?
That was intriguing.
Yeah, it was an intriguing little ending, to be honestly. It was very intriguing.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. It's
So
always nice to
who's
get back to a bit
setting
of
up
intrigue.
the Vesk?
Dun, dun, dun. Let's go back to our credits page. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you liked that. It's nice. A nice wee bit of mystery.
It's got to be another Kivallari case.
Well, go on.
What I love though is these are officially on record though for this one, right?
Yeah.
It isn't like a Black Ops this time round. Yeah. What do you want to call the session?
Hmm. Do we call the session?
Something investigative, certainly. Surely, right? I don't particularly have a suggestion, but just
Maybe just investigations.
Just making my notes so I don't have these session done as my only notes. Like one of those. Yeah, that was amazing. Was it 98 or 99 or whatever it was? I was just like done. That was literally the word. Right, so
Just
the
keep that in
the review of what
for-
happened here was very much a case of we opened with Lyco's weird trippy dream. Then Snyder had some pleasant words, and then he went to make his arrangements. We bounced over to you guys. You got your shopping done, and you started asking like around town. You got your equipment. You started upgrading your stuff. Lyco got you some credentials. Lyco checked around obviously what reports there were. Had some back and forth with Helene. Snyder got our scans done. They talked about obviously the ultimate plan and the ending of the plan, etc., and how risky it was. And so she agreed for her, her part to play in it all. And we had you guys actually getting in with credentials to the reactor. So, what about just reactions?
Mhm.
That's my suggestion. There we go. I'm going with that so far. You just can come with whatever you want. And I guess, yeah, bigger fish as well. Gone fishing, investigations, shell ink, yeah. Reactions. Yeah. Shellfish.
I don't know. I am deeply tired, so
That's fair.
I have no thoughts in me at this point.
Well, yeah, we'll see what Weird's typing and we'll do our votes. Fair.
Oh no.
Yep. My favourite thing is in all these scenes where you go and get information from the noodle stands, you always just walk away and bin the noodle. That's my favourite part of those scenes because it's all radiation. Yeah. Yep.
Show bad wasn't show bad though. We actually got some information at this time.
The specialists. Yeah. Yes. There's no good comparison for conspiracy and Vesk, sadly. It doesn't marry up enough.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got no other suggestions. I have no other. Just trying to think.
It's terrible, yeah, Louis in the news, but yeah. Official business. Um,
For once, we're doing something official.
yeah, I may realise that it could just easily be called like stewards, like straight up as well.
We were all doing a bit of stewardness this time round.
Yeah. Isn't it weird that we started this game as like space rejects that have all collected together, and now you are all technically in the employ of the stewards currently? Like,
Contract.
yeah, it's good.
I'm an independent agent.
Right, so let's see. Like, vote. Please start voting. We've got some really good suggestions here.
Mhm.
And we'll see what we get.
I'll give it this. I'll do that, and then I'll do your stewards man as well. Blank. There we go. Get a two for.
Nice. Nice. Get everybody else's input, and we'll see where we fall.
I do it.
Yeah. So where's I just want to call that one Daza Days? Like, sounds like a Gorillaz song.
I like shelling. Multiple levels of fun.
Yeah. It's nice. So, what about Shell Game as an evolution of that? So
Yeah,
that
works.
summarises
Works.
more of what you've got up to. This,
Mhm.
yeah. Sound good? Like it.
And
Shelling's
Also very close to the hit TV show at this point, so
We'd like to remain relevant,
yeah.
Mhm.
So, give
but not
myself.
too relevant.
But yeah, it's up to you if you want that or Shell. I'm not too fussed.
I'll go Shell Game. Shell Game. Okay,
Hey, I just again, yeah. It was, as I said, it kind of like came to me there. Seemed to be a good fit. I'll pop that in. Shell Game. There we go. Goals.
none completed here.
So, oh.
Where we're going, we don't need goals.
That's fine. That is fine. Are we adding or changing any though? That's maybe worth having a good look at since you're technically on a new mission.
Amma.
Are you? Yeah.
I mean, if I find this out to be Demagost, then that's a good way to kill him, right? Just kill his reputation.
Yeah.
But no, I'm good. I'm good with that. One's for now. If I can think more pressing matters, I might change it next week. But
And nothing related to this reactor investigation at all. No. For MD, I mean.
I don't want to get rid of Find Alice. That would feel
That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. You can keep it. Yeah. But you've got general
yeah,
goals,
thinking
remember?
that's definitely on the
That's
on
true.
the. Well, I mean, we could just shift beta glass or something like that into a trap to the side until we're actually going to do it, right? And then put it in, I suppose.
Because I personally doubt you will do that next week. I don't think you will
No,
bait them
I
next
doubt
week. I get the impression it's not going to happen. Since you
Mhm.
don't have the bioweapon. So,
Mm.
yeah. So you could set that to the side for now, at least. And you could put it back next week if you've cleared it. So, yeah. But it's up to you. It only means if you've got something else you want to put in, obviously. Let you think about that. Any other changes to like the personal goals or the general goals? No is a valid answer here.
No, for me.
Cool.
Not for me.
I should do because mine's currently just nonsense, but I can't. My
Oh,
brain will not
It's okay. Yeah.
turn gears right now.
Do you have any idea what's next for Lyco immediately? Like, are you gonna go like? Because you could take Thanaida to them on Akaton
I
if you
guess
wanted,
we'll see
or
what exactly happens with the scans first.
yeah, that's fine. Why not a goal based on that then?
I
have nothing either, though. That's the only thing. I also have nothing, so I'm with you there.
I'm extraordinarily tired, and I really cannot think.
It's okay.
Something along those lines. I will try and
No worries.
address that with you during the week at some point.
Cool. What's happening with the other two? What we got? Anything changing?
That's a reactor. Not for me. I'm just trying to think. Yeah, wait. What data reactor stuff?
Find out who is responsible for the attack on the reactor. Isn't that the goal? Like, yeah, that seems good enough, right? It's part of the investigation. It's the most official mission that you've had. Right. Any other changes from either of you two?
None.
Yeah. Cool.
Good.
Perfect. Good. Right. Wrap up chat time then. Colin, do you want to start us off since you're at the sleepy one?
Yes. That'll go. Yeah, it was good being back in the saddle, guys. After a sort of non-session last time. Obviously, I am not functioning properly today, so I do apologise if I had trouble actually, literally understanding words at times.
It's okay.
I have been like that pretty much all day. But yeah, no, it was quite interesting. We got some little hints of something intriguing in the horizon with Daza, and we made some progress with regards to investigating Shakos's condition. And potentially sort of got around the need to go via Nazma Keklik for me.
Yeah.
Sort of narratively got around that, which is nice, and potentially that can lead into some other stuff. Who knows?
And don't feel he's out of like your reach either, right? Because he just works for this cybernetics bloom company.
No,
now.
of course,
So, yeah.
but it was a way to sort of address that
Mhm.
currently in story without. And now I need to go to another planet.
Yeah. No, 100%. Yeah.
So yeah, that was handy, and sort of addressed the grey stuff a little bit, sort of talked through it with someone knowledgeable, and maybe gave me a bit of a hint that perhaps I don't have the worst ideas about,
Mhm.
you know, how they function, if not necessarily what they're after. Yeah, so it was good in that regard. A little bit of skullduggery again, like that. We were both on that track as well this time, which is interesting. Like both factions of the party.
Fragments.
Whichever.
Yes.
Fragments is yeah.
Both
so that was
frankincenses of
funny.
the party were indeed in
The-
sync. Yes.
We did sort of both end up off doing investigative stuff, rather than just being Lyco this time. So that was cute. And I'm intrigued to see where it is going with this alleged Vesk attack, because it sounds like maybe this is what we call a false flag.
That's the best flag.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's what.
Or if it was the Vesk, which faction of the
Something about
Vesk?
the black flag. Anyway, yeah, those are my
Yeah.
thoughts,
Not good.
and I hope they were sufficient. I'm sorry, I am.
No, that's okay, that's
I'm
good.
operating on empty. So yeah, I apologize, guys. I have not been fully functional today. But I made it here, right?
Yeah, you made it here, and you like, as far as I can tell, like you're coherent, so that's good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
coherent is.
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
That is a standard I aim
Yeah.
for.
As I said,
Anyway,
I enjoyed it
thank
as well.
you for
'cause-
running, man.
No, you're welcome. Thank you for playing. I enjoyed your reactions at the very start of the game personally, just with the "What's going on in this dream? I don't understand."
Oh yeah, that
was-
that was quite confusing because I was genuinely like, wait, what the fuck? Because
Mhm.
I'd forgotten the psychedelic properties,
Yep.
and I was oh,
it's the
but then
part
there was
I
definitely a
wanted-
very
I wanted to add that
a
scene at
big
the end of the
visual
last session.
metaphor happened in front of me, and I was
Yes.
like, oh, so that's
Yeah, like it was in my notes to put into the last session, but there was no time. there was just no time in
Well,
the last one. I was like, no, that has to get cut, sadly. But it was a scene I wanted because I had mentioned it was expensive because of its like visions it gives people or whatever. So yeah, definitely fun to do. And you're right, there's always a bigger fish. Speaking of bigger, weird.
Speaking of
It
fish,
is I enjoyed getting my shopping done.
Sorry, you've immediately made me think of a better title.
Oh.
2 wee seconds. I'll type it up first. Fission Expedition. Fuck. Damn, that's. Please continue.
Add more fish next time, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
But no, that was thoroughly enjoyable. I enjoyed getting the rad gear and immediately gone fishing. There we go.
This
And
burns his
immediately
boat.
putting it to use.
It's good. Yeah, no, it was good. Immediately, like literally, just I will buy the thing. It's almost like it was added as soon as like Bob had said. You hear about that? The Raptor leak? Add to list.
Yep.
Yep.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it was good. I also just love the idea that he also just believed you had already heard about it as well. Just yes.
I like being to play up the flat effect.
The fact that you actually like, is this the first time you've bluffed successfully in the game? Like,
Might not be, but if I have also done it some other time, it's been in a very similar situation as well.
Yeah.
Of just
It's good.
sure.
That'll do, right? Please keep talking. Yep. Yeah.
Please.
I've learned if you say something with the straightest face possible, it doesn't matter how ridiculous the lie is. Like,
Confidence does say. Yeah.
I could just walk up to somebody and go, "Your trousers are filled in." They're like, "What?"
They probably will
And
look.
like,
It's always worth checking.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to next session. It's kind of good to put a plan into action so quickly.
I can't wait.
yeah, that
Because
was
if
probably the most efficient plan making we've ever done.
like if the betrayer himself does, make time in his busy schedule for us, I can't wait for Callum to come back and just see us like, so what's everybody doing? Where am I? Why? Why is this? So yeah, that's gonna be fun. I'm just gutted you didn't also get Sindai a cool badge to come with you. That'd have been fun. That was my sadness.
That would
for
be
that.
cool.
Yeah, just get him to ask all the weird questions for the foreman and leave you guys to investigate. Oh dear, him with his little hard hat on.
That would have been a nightmare.
It would actually have been horrible. Oh, but yes, anything else, bud?
No.
Yep, good.
That's everything for me.
Yeah, it was just nice to actually be back as well, fundamentally.
Oh, yeah.
It was good.
oh, it's good to be back.
Yeah. Zora.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, that was good. It was good fun. It'd be interesting to see where who did break into the reactor. I couldn't get flipping radiation in my head there. Was it a Vesk? Was it somebody parading as a Vesk?
Was it
If
us?
it was a Vesk, who? Because if it was Demigish, then that implies a lot of things.
Yeah. Because as far as
you
you
should
know,
know about that egg.
I was gonna say, yeah, as far as you know, he knows fuck all about the eggs. So yeah.
What the hell does he want with the egg as well? Like, if that's the case, unless Mr. Talanis told him a bit more than what we know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I still think it was probably Martha because I told her about it stupidly.
I don't know. I think you were like, I don't know if it was like done stupidly. I think it wasn't the worst thing to say. By the way, we might need you to go get us an egg. That wasn't the worst thing to say, right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't. That was a bit harsh on yourself. It wasn't necessarily the most smartest idea.
Not more stupidly thinking like we could even semi-trust it. Like, if you know what I mean. I mean, she's the fucking Vest Special Ops. I mean, like,
yeah, I was gonna say she's been fairly upfront with you, right?
Yeah. Why, after me saying don't get it, would Matfa just decide to go try and get it anyway? When we've told her, like, Demigesh getting his hands on that probably means game over, right? Like, but
It's weird to say.
Who knows?
It is
Again,
weird to say what
Vescubus.
like. It is weird to say what's like gonna happen with a radiation egg in play, right? Like that is a strange thing. And who would actually benefit from it other than Urgalas, as far as you're aware, right?
Yeah.
So, it's not like they have difficulty powering spaceships or space stations, right? At this point, even if the main biggest space station was powered by the Starstone, however, and then in the alt reality, obviously it was the egg. So yeah. So, and you know the station that is getting built is a ruse.
Yeah,
Remember.
just a big super weapon,
Yeah.
basically. A
It's
massive bomb.
it's like a bit like a drift engine bomb, basically. Yeah. So, yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting. Interesting times. I don't really know where to look. If it's not a Vesk, who is it?
Yeah.
I mean,
Why is all the rumours like Vesk and nobody else is taking credit, right? It's pretty impressive to be able to pull this off. So, yeah. Who could it be? Yeah, it's
but
exciting.
it's not quite as aggressive as what I would expect for a Vesk. You know what I mean? Like, no front door blown open, yada yada.
No,
like
and that's something else. It wasn't really stated, but it was kind of implied because it didn't state it. No injuries.
Yeah.
I just forgot to care about those.
Yeah,
Sorry.
like 100% didn't even say it myself either, but I think because I didn't say it, that was the implied part, right? But yeah, like no injuries, staff-wise, which is weird.
Because there was no attack. Classic psyop.
Half burnt out cigar Lyco there, yeah.
I should play a character like that that talks like that someday, if only to see how long I can physically do it.
Yeah, one session in, you immediately say, nope, but let's drown him, somebody else. With a
Oh yeah,
voice.
no,
Yep.
it's agony.
Yeah. Have him as a contact to one of your characters. That's what we'll do. But I'll let you voice him.
Yeah. See, it is hard. It really is hard.
Anything else?
No, that's good.
I've got a contact.
It was good to be back.
Yeah, good. Yeah, it's good
to be back.
Yeah, definitely. Well, let's not hang around too long here. Thank you all for playing. Thank you everybody who watched. Hopefully we are on next week as our normal scheduled programming, but we'll see what happens. We'll see how that goes. And it is the countdown to the end, whatever that means now.
It's the countdown. I was going for Megadeth, except that I can't hold a tune.
Right, anyway, say goodbye everybody.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.